Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto gets sent back in time when he was 12 part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. In the middle of the forest, one would think that it would be peaceful. But that is not the case. Two people were in a small clearing fighting. The clash of metal and occasional yelps of pain echoed through the forest. Beyond the forest there was, or rather, used to be a village. Now only rubble and corpses remain. There were few still alive, maybe 100 at the most left from the thousands that once were there. Friends, comrades, teammates, loved ones, all lying on the ground bloodied and lifeless. Death lingered in the air as the final enemy went down. The people who were still alive but severely injured turned to look at what once was their village, their home. Konoha was no more. Orochimaru had succeeded in that, but he would not live to feel the pride for long. Uzumaki Naruto, along with Tsunade, Jiraiya, and quite a few ANBU, were still fighting. The final battle was about to be won. Orochimaru was tired, out of energy and out of options. Or so they thought. "I'll make you pay for what you've done. I will kill you right now myself," Naruto yelled as he charged to finish the guy off. The snake smirked and subtly went through hand seals. When he finished, he made a big circle with his arms. What appeared to be a black hole popped into view in the place where he had gestured. What's happening?" Naruto began to panic. "If I'm going down, I'm taking all of you with me," the snake yelled before slumping over. All the people behind him held tight to a tree. However, Naruto was too close to the black hole and began to move forward. He grabbed hopelessly at the dirt, making scratch marks, but it was in vain and he ended up being pulled in. "Naruto!" Almost all the people yelled. The hole closed, leaving the people one more life to mourn over, amidst all the other lost life. Naruto was in the strange hole. First everything was black, which seemed to be absorbed up by red, and then everything went white as Naruto saw a blinding flash of light. He closed his eyes, trying to shield them. After the pain that felt like he was being ripped apart stopped, he opened his eyes. He wasn't too sure where he was at first, but then, once his eyes came into focus, he realized where he was. In his apartment, on his bed, in his room. He stood up and looked out the window. He saw Konoha intact, and there were only 4 faces on the mountain. He also noticed that he could rest his head perfectly on the windowsill. "Okay, now I'm confused. What the hell happened?" Naruto yelled to himself. He went to the bathroom, and as he was washing his hands he noticed himself in the mirror. He saw his hair was so short. He had grown it out long ago so he could look more like his father. He was stopped from his pondering when he heard snickering. "You got something to do with this, Fox?" Naruto asked the laughing Kitsune. "Actually, yes. That jutsu that the snake bastard used was a portal. It was meant to send you to the beginning of time in hopes that you would be killed, since the planet was not yet created." "Great, so where are we then, "Well, I couldn't let you go floating around in an endless abyss, so I altered things." "The red I saw then was you, then?" "Yep, and congrats on turning 12 again," Kyubi snickered. "You sent me back to the time when I was 12? Are you serious? So I'm the dead last again? Gee, thanks." "Wrong, you've still got all the power you had when you were 23. Oh, and you might want to hide your foxy accessories. Your classmates would freak if you came like that. But everybody knows I combined with you when I almost got killed and tried to save Sasuke." "True, but that hasn't happened yet, and all your little friends are alive and well. For now anyway." "So Sasuke, Kiba, Tenten and all the others who Orochimaru killed are still alive? Stupid fox, I could kiss you." "I'd prefer it if you don't. Remind me to let you go hunting near a rabbit hole later." "That's the kind of thanks I'll take," the fox said happily, licking its lips. Naruto went to go check his calendar to see what day it was. He nearly screamed in frustration. Graduation day for the academy students. But then Naruto smirked. This could be fun. Naruto looked at the clock. Only 6 o'clock. He had an hour and a half yet before he needed to graduate. He thought about how well things were for him when he was older. Now, he wasn't even a genin when he was actually an ANBU. He sighed. "Now I have to wait another 10 years to meet my son," he thought as he hid his foxy accessory. Oh yes, Naruto had been married, and was expecting a son or daughter in 8 months. The wife, of course, was Hinata. He had helped her to boost her confidence throughout the years. Now he was back to square one with her. He figured he'd go out and do some shopping while he waited for the time to pass. He ate more than just instant ramen now that he knew how to cook. He went and counted the money in his wallet before getting dressed and leaving. As he left, he compared how underfurnished his apartment was, compared to his house in the future. He looked at his hands, deciding to get some gloves to hide his claws. At least he could wear his old favorite clothes. He walked to a ninja clothing store and went in to look around. He quickly found what he needed, a pair of gloves that had steel on the back of the hand and at the tips of the fingers, sewn in between the material. That way, he wouldn't accidentally claw anything by grabbing onto it. The metal part on the fingertips even swung back if he needed his claws. He grabbed them and went to the cashier, who didn't even look up from the magazine he was reading. He punched in the exact price and, when Naruto gave him the money, he took only the right amount without even looking up. Naruto left, happy not to be overcharged, as he knew he used to be when he was little. He even heard the man tiredly say, "Have a nice day, please come again." He then decided to get a lot more groceries, since he had plenty of money to spare. As he walked into the store, the girl at the counter was asleep. Naruto walked in and got everything he needed. He went over to the girl and gently woke her. She drowsily opened her eyes, blinked, then began ringing things through, head still resting in her arms. She gave the total that showed on the screen, not even adding things to it. Naruto gave her the money and happily went on his way. Sheesh, if I had known that people were like this in the mornings, I would have done all my shopping this early. Naruto quickly went home to put the food away, gloves already on, then ran out towards the academy training ground. He still had a half hour before he needed to be there, so he decided to get in a small workout. A half hour and many destroyed trees later, the warning bell rang. Naruto smirked as he walked into class. This time round I'll show them who the dead last is. Can we hurry this up? I want that rabbit meat, grumbled Kyubi as Naruto's slitted blue eyes scanned the classroom until he found an open seat. Let the fun begin, Naruto thought as he sat down. More and more people came in the 15 minutes after the warning bell. All of them seemed nervous just to be there, let alone take the actual test. Sasuke came in and sat beside Naruto, who instantly smirked. Sasuke scoffed. What are you so happy about? We all know you're going to fail. Oh, I'm always happy. Sasuke, just as I remember him, he's even got the stick way up his ass today. Wow, it's a real honor. HN, he grunted in reply. Naruto just smirked even wider. Let's see if we can't give that stick a big pull or push. Whatever happens, happens. Yes, I'm always happy. In fact, welcome to my happy world. Great, just what I've always wanted. I'll look for an apartment right away, Sasuke replied sarcastically. Naruto grinned. Good, and now that you're all nice and settled, you can get your shit and leave. Only people who smile are allowed in my happy world, he said cheerfully. Sasuke's eye twitched. There's something different about him, Sasuke thought, staring at the blonde idiot. Sasuke noticed the gloves and asked with a snotty tone, "What's with the gloves, though?" Naruto looked to his right and smirked. Why? He asked in a childish way. Because. Why? I asked a question, idiot. Why? 'Cause that's how smart people gather information, not that you know anything about that. Why? 'Cause you're an idiot. Why? You were probably dropped on your head as a baby. But only you can truly answer that. Why? Because I don't know why you're an idiot. Sasuke thinks he's got the upper hand because he's insulting me, but he'll get annoyed soon, Naruto thought, then continued with yet another why. Will you just shut up? Why? Arg. There was a moment of silence. Why? It was then that Irika came into the classroom. He noticed all the girls staring at Sasuke while throwing the occasional glare at Naruto, who was an amazing fangirl deterrent with his annoyingness. Heh, this'll be a cinch. What kind of ANBU would I be if I couldn't pass the Genin exam? I'll pass everything easy, Naruto thought, turning his attention to Irika. Okay, the Genin test will be composed of primary weaponry, meaning how well you can use the basic weapons, a test on theory and history, an obstacle course, and primary jutsus. You will be asked to perform one of the basic jutsus you have learned this year. You need to pass 3 out of the 4 tests to pass. Any questions? Irika waited to make sure no one raised their hand. Okay, good luck to all of you, he said as he passed out the test. Naruto instantly paled at it. Damn, he thought, looking at it. Oh yes, only ANBU in history to fail part of a Genin exam. The fox then proceeded to burst out laughing. Naruto sighed and wrote down what he hoped were the answers. After 30 minutes he got up and handed the paper in. Irika took it and quickly marked it. Good job, Naruto, you passed. Thank God. Pride intact. You got a 55, Irika said happily. Then again, maybe not. Kyubi burst out laughing again. Naruto put on a big grin and walked back to his seat to wait for the other parts in the exam. He easily aced the weapons test, which involved 10 shuriken, 10 kunai, and 20 targets. He hit the right targets, and even threw all 10 shuriken at once to show off. He then grabbed the 10 kunai, threw them, and went on his way, all hitting the bullseye. The obstacle course was also easy, although he needed to go at it in a slow jog. The jutsu he had to do, of course, was the bunshin. He was up after Sakura, who completed it by creating 4 clones. Still can't create those things to save my life. Simple stuff, oh no, but hard stuff, hell yeah. Well, Naruto, could you create a minimum of 3 clones for us, please? Mizuki asked. Don't worry, Naruto, even if you fail this, you still will pass overall, Irika said, knowing clones were his worst. Behind Naruto, Sasuke smirked knowingly. Ha! The idiot will fail, Sasuke thought as he saw Naruto take his stance. He easily went through the hand seals. Irika, noticing the seals were different, raised an eyebrow. Naruto stopped on a cross seal, and behind him about 20 poof sounds were heard. The few students who were still in the classroom turned to look. There were Naruto clones in all the seats at the desks, all grinning happily. There were a few around near the original. Mizuki chuckled. Just what you've always wanted, Irika? A class full of Narutos. Irika's expression was caught somewhere between putting his head through a wall or running over and hugging Naruto. Sasuke stared at the Naruto closest to him. He pushed him out of the way, wanting to upstage him. When his hand made contact, he smirked, thinking he'd found the real one. He then punched it on the arm on hopes of getting a yelp of pain and also making him move. A popping noise was heard and the clone disappeared in a poof of white smoke. The hell? He asked no one in particular. Do I pass? Asked Naruto, grinning at the confused Sasuke as he dispelled the rest of the clones. Yeah, you pass. Wasn't that Kage Bunshin though? Irika asked quietly. Naruto nodded. Okay then, who's next? Irika gave a look that said I'll talk to you later. Sasuke went next and managed to create as many as Naruto, but still didn't understand what it was he had done. That clone was solid, it wasn't a normal one, Sasuke thought to himself as he left to the other classroom behind Naruto to wait to get their headbands. Naruto sat in an empty seat and waited. A few minutes and many angry glares from Sasuke later, Irika announced that they would all need to meet back at the academy tomorrow to be put on their 3-man teams and meet their jounin instructor. They then were called up one by one to receive their headbands. Naruto was called up last and Irika untied his own headband and gave it to Naruto. I'm proud of you, Naruto. You're finally a ninja, Irika said happily. One good thing about being 12 again, I can act upon impulse. Naruto jumped at Irika and swung his arms around his neck. However, the momentum made them both fall backwards over the desk and ended up lying on the ground. Once they got back, Irika placed a hand on his shoulder. How about I treat you to ramen? You can tell me how you learned Kage Bunshin. Naruto grinned and went back to his seat in the middle row. Dobe, Sasuke muttered from behind. I heard that, Sasuke bastard. Naruto yelled at Sasuke, who was seated at the very back. Oh, how nice it feels to once again obey the impulse and not have to worry that people are actually expecting me to think before speaking. Yes, anyway, congratulations to all of you who passed, and we'll see you tomorrow, Irika said. All the students began to leave. Naruto waited for Irika to finish talking to Mizuki, glaring at the traitor, though he didn't seem to notice. Irika signaled for him to wait outside, so he did. The first thing he did was look for Hinata, but when he found her, she was with her father. He instantly went the other way. Her father never liked him much. When Irika came out, he kept telling him that he was happy for him and giving him lectures. When he asked about the Kage Bunshin, he lied and said he was bothering the Hokage and found the scroll, studied it, and that's how it happened. After Naruto deprived the ramen bar of its supplies and Irika his money, they said their goodbyes and went home. Once he got home, Naruto changed, set his alarm, and slept, dreaming up ways to annoy the people around him. The sun was just beginning to peek its head over the horizon. The birds had begun their dawn chorus. In the apartment of Uzumaki Naruto, the dawn chorus had a lead singer. Beep! 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 However, Naruto did not like this particular singer. Beep! Beep! Crash! Ah, the broken alarm clock chorus. It's not truly morning without it. Naruto rolled out of bed onto the floor with a thud. Damn single bed, he mumbled as he began to stretch. As he went to the bathroom, the mirror caught his eye. He could see 2 red-orange fox ears poking out from the top of his blonde mess of hair. There was also a long tail swaying carefree behind him. Genjutsu must have gone off during the night, he said to himself as he yawned. Yeah, when you're sleeping you can't concentrate on it so it disappears. This could pose a problem if you want to hide the foxy accessories from your team on long missions, QB lectured. I'll just bring a one-man tent. You also might want to get your pants on. Oh, Naruto said, realizing his pajama bottoms were still down around his ankles. How he managed to walk so far without tripping he couldn't understand. Then again, he couldn't understand anything in the morning. Naruto was never a morning person, it usually took him about 5 to 10 minutes to fully wake up. He went to his closet and started searching through his clothing. With a loud HA. In triumph he held up a pair of black pants with an orange stripe down the sides of the legs. The Hokage had gotten them for him as a present. Why he hadn't worn them, he couldn't remember. He also pulled out a black t-shirt, then got dressed. He tied his signature orange jacket around his waist. He made some toast to eat for his breakfast, replaced the genjutsu, and was out the door by 7. He quickly made his way to the academy with only one thing on his mind, Hinata. As he got to the academy he went past an arguing Ino and Sakura, who pretended to ignore him. He went straight to where Hinata was seated. She noticed he was coming her way and her cheeks instantly turned crimson. Hello and Naruto, I am glad we both passed, she said so quietly Naruto could barely hear her. Yeah, me too, he replied happily. Hinata realized he replied and turned a deeper shade of red. So Hinata, are you doing anything tonight? She instantly froze upon the question. No, she said shakily. Well, maybe we can do something together tonight? Naruto asked happily. Oh, like a DD date? She asked, surprised. Sakura and Ino had stopped arguing and were watching the scene attentively. No, not like a date. How about dinner? Pick you up at the academy at 8? Naruto said. If she gets any redder she's bound to pass out due to all the blood in her face, the resident demon commented. Why yes. Hinata screeched, then fell backwards, passing out. Naruto grabbed her and gently leaned her forward onto the desk. She was still bright red, but now it looked like she was sleeping on the desk. Oi Naruto, what did you do to her? Kiba asked as he came closer. Naruto then realized that everyone was looking at him. Even Sasuke turned to raise an eyebrow. Naruto rubbed the back of his head nervously. I just asked her out, and then she fainted. At least she said yes. Kiba came over and slapped him on the back. Good job on getting your first date. Naruto grinned. Akamaru yipped to his master. Hey, you do smell different. Did you spend the night in a fox's den or something? Kiba asked while patting the little dog on the head. How, why? Naruto asked nervously. Well, normally you have a small fox scent on you, but today it smells stronger. You got a new pet? Yeah, something like that. Iruka stepped in and cleared his throat to get everybody's attention. Well then, take your seats. First off, I'd like to say Mizuki won't be joining us due to an unfortunate accident. His voice trailed off. Idiot must have gotten caught trying to steal the scroll, Naruto thought. Anyway, I will announce your 3-man squad and the Jounin instructor you'll be paired with. Much the same happened as in the previous timeline. I can't believe I'm stuck with Naruto. Arg. Well, at least I'm with Sasuke. Boo Naruto, yay Sasuke. Cha. Sakura thought as they went down to the room they were assigned to meet their Jounin instructor. They're both idiots. This 3-person team is too many, Sasuke thought. Naruto was, however, a bit sidetracked. No, that's too mild, I want something huge. How about a series of traps? Yeah. All leading him from one prank to another, he'll never know what hit him. God, I love being young again. This led Naruto to laugh out loud evilly, along with the fox, but only Naruto heard him. Naruto's bout of evil laughter made his teammates give him a weird look. Not that he noticed, as he was laughing evilly at the ceiling. Great, I'm stuck with someone who should be in a padded room, Sasuke thought as he rolled his eyes. Memo to self, help Naruto seek mental help, Sakura thought. As they waited in the room, time went by and the two became more and more interested in what Naruto was doing. Sakura was the first to cave in. Naruto, what is it you're doing, exactly? She asked in an annoyed tone. Teaching the teacher a lesson on being late, Naruto replied, not even turning to look at Sakura. I'm right, so where are you taking Hinata tonight? Out for ramen? Sakura asked, going into girly mode. Don't know and no, Naruto replied as he continued working. You're not taking her for ramen? She asked, surprised. No, but do you know a good place to get scented candles? Lavender and lilac? Naruto asked, finally looking up from what he was doing. Hinata loved lilacs. He even used them when he proposed to her. Flashback. Naruto, where are you taking me this time? Asked a giggling Hinata. Somewhere really special. No peeking, and that means not using Byakugan either, Naruto said, leading the blindfolded Hinata up to the top of the Hokage monument. Are we there yet? Hinata asked impatiently. Hang on a sec, Naruto yelled as he let go of her shoulders. He ran off about 5 meters, then came back. Okay, you can take off the blindfold now, Naruto said happily as Hinata reached up to the blindfold. She blinked, getting her eyes used to the light. A tree came into focus, then she began to look around, wondering where they were. She noticed a cliff to her right and began to approach it. She gasped out at what she saw. There down in the field were lilacs. But some were cut down, exposing the green stems among the purple. The cut-down flowers had a message, plain and simple. Hinata, will you marry me? She almost screamed out from sheer delight of it as she read the message. She turned to see Naruto, a few feet away down on one knee, holding a ring with 3 diamonds on it up towards her in one hand, and a big bouquet of lilacs in the other. They were from the ones he cut down to spell the message. He was smiling happily. She couldn't contain her joy and ran at Naruto with her arms open. Yes. Yes. Of course I will. She yelled so loud that almost all of the village could hear her. She could out-yell Naruto if she wanted to. Hey! 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 Wait! Naruto yelled, stopping Hinata in mid-lunge. Hinata was confused at what he was doing, but then again, he was still the most surprising ninja. Naruto got up off his knee, walked over to his fiancée, took her hand, and slipped the ring on her finger. He then walked back to where he was, put down the bouquet, then turned to face Hinata. Okay, continue, he said happily. She then began her lunge anew, clamping her arms around his neck. I love you, she whispered happily through her tears of joy. I love you too, and will always, Hinata, he whispered back. They then kissed each other, knowing they would be together forever. End flashback. Store downtown that sells all kinds of stuff like that, Sakura said. Ugh, thanks. Naruto smiled, then went back to the paper he had. Sakura went back to her seat to wait for the sensei to come. Naruto rolled up the scroll he was writing in, then got up and went to the back of the classroom. He came forward with a metal bucket and placed it atop the door carefully before going to sit back down beside his teammates. You idiot, if he's a jounin he's not going to fall for such a stupid trap, Sakura said, and raised her fist to hit Naruto on the head when someone came in. The man opened the door, causing the bucket to fall on his head with a clunk. Naruto began laughing. Sakura gasped. Cha! Got him! Inner Sakura raised an eyebrow. The man turned towards them, bucket still on his head. Well, my first impression, I hate you all, he said cheerfully. Feelings mutual about your lateness, Naruto said. Right, I'll meet you all on the roof, he said, trying to pull the bucket off only to find it firmly stuck. Naruto, did you put glue in there? Sakura asked. Yes, something like that. As Sasuke and Sakura turned to leave, Kakashi finally got the bucket off his head. He was glaring at Naruto. That brat used chakra to stick this thing to my head. If this is the dead last, then that Sasuke kid must be high chunin, he thought. Come on, don't be late, Kakashi-sensei, Naruto yelled as he ran off. I didn't tell him my name yet, Kakashi said as he poofed up to the roof. His 3 students were already there. Okay, so tell me your likes, dislikes and hobbies, things like that, Kakashi stated. Well, how about you go first to show us? Sakura asked. Alright, my name is Hatake Kakashi. I have no interest in telling you my hobbies. I also have no ambitions to tell you my dreams. I like things and I also dislike things too. Okay, next, he said happily. Wow. Me too. We have so much in common, Naruto said, causing everyone around him to do a face fault. Okay, ladies first, Kakashi said. Alright, I am Haruno Sakura. I like, she turned to Sasuke. I hope, turned to Sasuke again. I hate, she miserably turned to Naruto. Sakura fell silent and looked as if she was throwing a silent hissy fit. Okay, next you. He pointed to Naruto. Okay, well, following your example, my name is Uzumaki Naruto. I like a lot of things. I dislike mainly people who bully others and people who are late. He stressed the late part, making Kakashi cringe. My ambition is to fulfill my dream. My dream everyone already knows. My hobbies are well known too. Great, okay, now you, he pointed at Sasuke. Sasuke grunted. If no one else is giving any personal information, either will I, Sasuke thought, going into brooding Avenger mode. Okay. Good, I have team happy. So, we will meet at training ground 7 for survival training. Oh, and don't eat breakfast or you might throw up. Bye now. With that he disappeared into a puff of smoke. I think he likes us, Naruto said before jumping off the roof. He landed silently and began to run off, only 5 minutes later realizing what he had done. He shouldn't be able to do that, should he? Sakura asked Sasuke after recovering from her shock. Nope, Sasuke said, turning to face the girl. You're going to stalk him, aren't you? Sakura said, more of a statement than a question. Yep, came the reply. Thought so. Naruto jogged along the streets, heading to the store Sakura had described, though he was only vaguely paying attention. He found the store, though, when he remembered her saying something about a big pink-purple sign. He could tell he was being followed, but paid it no mind, knowing that if he did, they would really get suspicious. He found the 2 candles he wanted and bought them at a fairly reasonable price, adding in 2 holders as well. The cashier was only a few years older than him, so she didn't know of his legend and so tried to overcharge him. As he exited, he could feel his stalkers and sighed. This will be a long day. He went over a mental checklist of what he thought he would need for his date. Ha! He yelled out, spinning around facing the tree Sasuke was in. I knew I forgot to get something, Naruto said as he walked to the nearest food stand, trying not to laugh as he felt the tension from his stalker drop. Do you sell meats here? Naruto asked the vendor. Yeah, how much and what kind do you want? The man asked with a bit of an accent. About a 3-pound roast, Naruto replied. The man nodded and handed the meat to him. Naruto thanked and paid him, then put the meat in his bag, before continuing on his merry way. He went to a local fruit vendor and began to browse the citrus fruits. The vendor came out. Sasuke and Sakura were on the roof of a nearby house, Sakura not even caring that Sasuke wasn't talking to her at all. She was just happy to be near him without him pushing her away. They looked down to where Naruto was looking at the citrus fruits. Hey! You sell limes? Naruto asked when the vendor came over. Yes, but not to you. The vendor yelled, attracting the people's attention. Nope, not a friendly vendor. Naruto sighed and began to walk away. You little demon brat. Don't turn your back on me when I'm talking to you. The angry man yelled. Yeah, you should be more polite. Someone yelled. Yeah. Others agreed. Someone threw a tomato at him, which he dodged, but he waited until the last minute to do so, making it look like he dodged by pure luck. Get him! Shouted someone from the crowd. Immediately, people started throwing things at him from all angles. Naruto dodged all of them easily, which seemed to anger the people even more. When he saw a lemon being thrown, it gave him an idea. Oh no! Not the lemons and limes! Naruto yelled at the top of his lungs. He could hear the fox snickering as the people began to throw the sour fruits. Naruto jumped up and grabbed about 10 lemons and 10 limes before taking off. Sasuke and Sakura were not only confused but startled that Naruto had gotten away without any produce on him. Heh, suckers, he said to himself as he ran off, leaving Sakura and Sasuke to ponder where he went. When Naruto got back to his apartment, he looked at the time. Almost 6:45. Great, gotta hurry. Naruto grabbed a pan, turned on the oven, and began to slice up the lemons. When the oven was fully heated, he inserted the roast, along with the lemon wedges and a few spices he found laying around. He then began peeling potatoes and sticking them in boiling water. While the potatoes were cooking, he began to work on 2 small salads. Once those were done, he checked the things in the oven. They still needed a few more minutes, so he went to find a blanket or sheet of some sort. Once he found a decent one, he ran back to the kitchen, blanket waving behind him. He threw the blanket on the table and put the plastic salad bowls on the blanket. Irika was always giving him plastic dishes, so he always had enough. He found the bowls' lids and tightly placed them on. When the potatoes were done, he quickly mashed them up, added what he needed, put them in another bowl, and placed the mashed potatoes beside the salads. The roast was done with only 15 minutes to spare. He grabbed 2 sodas out of the fridge and the candles and holders. Quickly he placed everything on the blanket, folded it up, and tied it. He made sure it was tight before bolting out the door, almost forgetting to lock it. And yes, he turned off the oven. Naruto arrived at the academy at 7:59, panting. Hinata was there at the gate, pushing her fingers together nervously. Hinata! He called out to her, causing her to flinch. She began to walk over to him, not too sure if she was dreaming or not. Hello and Naruto, she said nervously once she got to him. Sorry, I hope you weren't waiting too long? Naruto asked. And no, only F5 minutes. Naruto nodded and began to lead her out into the forest. It was a full moon tonight. He led her to a small pond that had a waterfall spraying mist everywhere, which twinkled and shone in the moonlight. Naruto crouched down and began to untie his pack, and set it all out while Hinata was distracted by the scenery. Up in a nearby tree, Sasuke and Sakura were looking for the blonde. After he took off without a trace earlier, the two had thought he might have come to the forest to train. Well, actually, Sasuke thought and Sakura just followed. They both saw a small glow of light and went towards it. There in the clearing stood Naruto lighting the second candle. He had food spread out all around. Hinata shakily sat down, and Sakura resisted the urge to let out a girlish squeal. Okay, we'll start with the salad, okay? Naruto asked, opening the containers and handing her a soda. Hinata nodded and began to eat. Lilacs, I wonder how he knew. Maybe he really likes me too. At the thought, Hinata blushed. Now let's see if we can't bring her out of her shell. Can I have the rabbit yet? You promised yesterday. The fox began to whine. Fine, Naruto sighed. Hinata, I'll be right back, I need to go to the bathroom, Naruto stated as he got up. Why are those two still following me? Naruto went far enough away that he should be out of earshot of the others and began doing seals. When he got to the last one, he slammed his hand down and smoke appeared. When it cleared, there stood Kyuubi. Although he only had one of his tails, he was still as tall as Naruto's waist. There you go, enjoy. Oh, and please don't bring a dead carcass back with you, okay? Naruto whispered and turned to go back to Hinata. When he got back, he saw Hinata still shyly nibbling on the salad. Naruto sat down again and began to eat. Hinata seemed to blush more and more with each bite. After they were both done with the salad, Naruto gave her the mashed potatoes and some of the roast. Hinata thanked him for it, and slowly began to take her first bite. Wow! This is really good, Hinata said, louder than expected. She began to shovel the food in even faster than Naruto. She stopped halfway through, realizing what she had done. I'm glad you like it, he said. She looked up at Naruto as if to apologize, but he just had a happy smile on his face. She had globs of food everywhere below her nose. A small glob of potatoes fell off her and onto the grass. Now there's the girl I married, Naruto thought. Naruto then began to laugh, causing Hinata to blush. I'm sorry, she said quietly. Naruto stopped laughing and handed her a napkin. Don't apologize, I like seeing you with more confidence. Sasuke was making disgusted faces at the couple. He was like a little kid watching his parents kiss. Sakura was the opposite. She had to hold her hand over her mouth to keep from eyeing. Who knew Naruto could be so romantic, she thought. The only reason Sasuke didn't run from Sakura and her scariness was because he knew if he moved they would definitely be spotted. The rest of the night was spent by Naruto asking yes or no questions and Hinata shaking her head or nodding. When the candles burned dry, they packed up to leave. By the end of the evening, when Hinata spoke, she stuttered less, which was a good sign. They parted ways once out of the forest. Naruto went home, not even a bit worried about the fox. When he ran out of available energy, the freed part of his spirit would just come back to him, while the body poofed out of existence. Kyuubi being able to move in the outside world was a plus from merging. He still couldn't be freed without killing Naruto and thus killing him, but this would do for the time being. Their spirits were intertwined. The shock of suddenly having no demonic energy in his body would kill Naruto. However, since the fox had merged his power with him, he would never lose all the demonic energy, thus weakening the seal. They were both slowly working to untwine their spirits, so the fox didn't need to rely on him as much. Naruto let out a sigh as he got to the apartment. He slowly dragged himself up the stairs, into his nightwear and into his bed. Meanwhile, Sasuke was contemplating why he was following the idiot in the first place. All such contemplation became lost, however, as Sakura started talking about how cute the two were together. He literally had to shove her in the door of her house then run like mad just to be rid of her. Life was so much easier when girls thought guys had cooties. Naruto awoke the next morning when the light came into the open window. Naruto blinked out of sync as his eyes finally began to focus. He sat up with one eye half open and looked at the taped-up alarm clock. It was a half hour before he had to meet with his team at the training grounds. He went through his morning routine and replaced the genjutsu before slowly heading off. He got there early so he could set up his traps. He finished just as his teammates came into the training grounds. They stood over by the logs for about an hour before Naruto decided to take a nap. Just wake me up when he comes. Naruto yawned as he took about 20 steps, circled his spot twice, then laid down for a nap. Kyubi? What? Can you hold the genjutsu for me while I sleep? Yes, I can, not for too long, but long enough for that lazy-ass teacher to get here. Hope he likes what we prepared for him. Naruto laughed in his mind before thanking the giant kitsune, and then closing off his mind to sleep. 3 hours later, when Kakashi showed up, he was facing the three stumps. Noticing no one was there, he began to look around. He spotted his students sleeping on one another in a pile behind him. He woke them up by yelling at them all quite loud. They woke up with a jump. All three yawned before standing. Okay, so now that I have your attention, I'll explain. You will try to take these bells from me. He held up 2 silver bells, and the one who doesn't get one will be tied to the post and not given any lunch. Then that person will go back to the academy, he said. You have until noon to get a bell, alright? Arg. I didn't have dinner either, Sakura thought. Damn, I knew I should have eaten, Sasuke thought. Ha, I ate breakfast this time, Naya, Naruto thought. Go! Immediately Sasuke and Sakura jumped off into a tree, but Naruto just stood there for a minute. He yawned and leisurely walked away. Kakashi raised an unseen eyebrow, then began to charge, hoping to force his student to run. Naruto stopped, turned to his teacher, blinked, then realized what was going on with a yell. GK. Not ready. Still sleepy, he said, ducking as the teacher's kick flew over his head. You must always be ready for anything, Kakashi lectured as he took out his little orange book. Perfect, Naruto thought as he charged with only one objective: get that book. Kakashi watched the boy out of the corner of his eye. Interesting, his steps are evenly apart, meaning he has had a lot of training. Naruto made a purposely sloppy punch at Kakashi's head. Yet his attacks are sloppy, almost like he's doing it on purpose. Oh well. Kakashi quickly slipped behind Naruto, who noticed immediately. Keep your eyes on your opponent, and never turn your back to them, Kakashi stated. Ha ha! Revenge, he thought as he initiated his plan. Kakashi wrapped his hands around his book with his pointer and middle finger still up. He brought his hands back and shoved them up Naruto's ass. In the trees, Sakura and Sasuke almost face-faulted at the sight. Kakashi pushed his hands upwards, sending Naruto flying with a yell. 1,000 years of pain! He shouted AGHHH. Naruto yelled as he went flying. However, Kakashi's triumph was short-lived. As he went back to read his book, he had a very, very unpleasant feeling. You should take your own advice, Naruto said from behind Kakashi. Naruto gave an evil smirk as he sent Kakashi flying with his own move. 1,000 years of pain right back at ya, Naruto yelled. After Kakashi had left the ground, he put his hands back, covering his very, very sore butt. Of course, in doing so, he dropped his little orange book. Naruto's plan had worked. He had used a replacement jutsu with a clone. While Kakashi was busy taking care of the clone, he had gotten behind him. His teammates came out from hiding with a disturbed look on their faces. Caught him by surprise, they both thought walking over. Naruto grinned. We obviously can't beat him, Sakura said, hanging her head. Yeah, that's why we need to team up, Naruto said. But either way, at least one of us will fail, Sasuke said simply. Would you rather all of us fail? Naruto asked logically. The two shook their heads. Right, so this is what we're going to do. Naruto began to tell his teammates his plan. When he was done, he looked at their faces. Their expressions had a mix of yeah right, that will never work, and heh, this sounds like fun. Sasuke even had an evil smirk. They set it up, although Naruto had his part up already, and began waiting, knowing that their silver-haired teacher would come back for his precious book. They heard a rustle and, sure enough, Kakashi appeared with his head down, looking for the book. He continued walking but stepped on a trip wire. A bucket of glue and feathers dumped on him. The glue Naruto had stolen from the academy on the way to the grounds. The feathers were from Kyubi's pheasant feast. Sakura jumped out, attempting to snag the bells, but missed since Kakashi could still see. However, Kakashi sidestepped onto another prank. Eggs flew from all angles, since it caught him by surprise to get another trap so close to the last. All of them hit him. Why eggs and not perhaps pie? Or instead something pointy, you may ask? Naruto explained to the others that they didn't want to kill their teacher, only get the bells. However, it was actually a well-known fact to Naruto that Kakashi hated raw eggs. He had told him in the future when they had to help out on a farm. He hated raw eggs because his parents wanted him to become a strong man. Unfortunately for the young Kakashi, they heard that drinking 10 raw eggs a day was a good way to do that. Oh God, no! Kakashi screamed. No more eggs! With that, he ran off with his students close behind. Kakashi ran straight to where Naruto was hiding. Naruto jumped out, stopping the teacher in his tracks. I knew you reminded me of someone, now I know who, he said, looking deep in thought. Sasuke and Sakura had caught up to the teacher and were ready to pounce. Oh? Naruto asked somewhat curiously. With these pranks I mean, Kakashi sighed while Naruto's eyes lit up. He began to flash through seals that Kakashi recognized oh too well. And he's found his father's prank jutsu scroll too? Kakashi thought, scared and surprised. Naruto stopped on a ram seal, then brought his hands to his mouth and took a deep breath in. The hell? He knows a fire jutsu too? Damn him. But Sasuke's thought fell away as silly strings shot out of his mouth instead of flames. Kakashi's eye twitched, but when he wiped off his face he caught sight of his book lying on the ground by a tree. He went over to pick it up, but he was caught in a noose around his foot and lifted into the tree. Naruto walked over and grabbed the bells off of Kakashi, then smirked and said, when the bait is obvious, don't take it. Naruto tossed the bells to his teammates. But if you give us both, you won't pass, Sakura said. Kakashi was now down from the rope and walked over to them. Naruto stood with his team and waited. Good job, you all pass, he said a little too happily, considering that his head as well as most of his upper body was covered in feathers and glue. What? But Naruto gave me and Sasuke the bells, Sakura said, surprised. Yes, that is true. However, in a roundabout way, you all got your hands on a bell. Naruto was the one who took them from me, but he then passed them to you too. The object was teamwork, which you obviously have. These traps were quite elaborate. Do you get it? The three nodded. Good, now I'm going to take a long hot shower and I'll see you all in the morning. We'll meet at that red bridge at about 7. You better not be late, or I'll egg you again, Naruto said, causing Kakashi to cringe. He poofed away with a shudder, thinking I don't even want to know how he found out about that. What kind of big master plan was that? Sakura screamed. It worked, didn't it? Naruto replied. You said you were going to distract him and make him see the book, Sasuke said coldly. Yeah, and I did it through the power of pranks, Naruto protested. You are so immature, Sakura screeched. Yes, I know. But you're only young once. But immaturity is forever, he replied metaphorically. Dumbass, Sasuke muttered. Naruto just rolled his eyes and began to walk away. Plan worked. They don't suspect a thing. They didn't even ask about the silly string jutsu. Yay. I'm going to sleep now. He stopped when he felt a hand on his shoulder. He turned to face Sasuke. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Fight me, Sasuke said simply. Naruto sighed. He heard the fox laughing so much for them not suspecting anything. Shut up. I thought you were going to sleep. Can't reply to that, I'm sleeping. Naruto rolled his eyes. Fine. Sakura stood over by a tree, waiting for the fight to begin. Sasuke and Naruto had moved away from each other, and were patiently waiting for the other to start. Sasuke knew he would run at him any second now, being the irrational person he is. Naruto knew it too. He had to start it or else that would arouse even bigger questions. So, he made a substitution bunshin and sent it charging. It landed a few hits and so did Sasuke. After the 5th hit Sasuke made on the clone, it disappeared. Sasuke began looking around, confident that he had at least made a few hits. However, Naruto had found over the years how to make his clones last longer in battle. He stood up on the branch he was on and tackled Sasuke, causing the two to roll. Naruto got in a few punches as they rolled down the hill. Sakura was running after them, she looked a bit worried. Naruto and Sasuke continued to struggle to gain control of the other, getting in a few hits. They soon ran out of ground though, and rolled off a cliff. Acting on instinct, Naruto grabbed Sasuke by the wrist, who gasped when he fell, and then stuck to the edge of the cliff with chakra. He also grabbed onto a tree root with his free hand. Sasuke stared wide-eyed at Naruto and was about to speak when he pulled him up and hugged him. Sasuke inwardly shuddered at the close contact. Naruto was now holding on to Sasuke's waist, all clinging to the side of a cliff. Sakura, seeing them go over the edge, ran over, worry written clearly on her face. However, when she looked down at them, she laughed out loud. Naruto pulled himself up, still holding on to Sasuke. Ugh, thanks, Sasuke muttered. Yeah, no problem, Naruto said, rubbing the back of his head. They looked over at Sakura, who was still laughing. She pointed down over the cliff. Naruto and Sasuke peered over the edge and instantly paled. The cliff was only about 7 feet up. We shall never speak of this again, Sasuke said, eyeing a small puddle below. Agreed. At least we didn't get our feet wet? Naruto offered. Sasuke shrugged. They both turned to glare at Sakura, who had stopped laughing. The two gave an if you breathe a word to anyone you're dead glare. Sakura eeped, before holding up her hands in defense. Sasuke and Naruto smirked at each other. Well, that was certainly interesting, yeah. We already have minimal understanding. I'm going to get my best friend back. Yeah, sure, a few more hugs ought to do it. That shut the fox up. Perhaps we should spar farther away from cliffs? Naruto asked, smirking. Yes, Sasuke said through a bit of a chuckle. Naruto smiled. Over the years he'd known Sasuke, before Orochimaru's surprise attack that killed him, that is, he'd found exactly how to piss him off and get him to laugh. They went to a different location and began the sparring match anew. Naruto went easy on Sasuke, barely using any jutsus, and let it end in a tie. After saying goodbye to his teammates, he began to head home. He figured that the only way he could get any decent practice was if he found a faraway spot. He continued to walk until he bumped into a familiar face. Oh, hi Hinata, Naruto said happily. Hi and Naruto, she said softly. Naruto smiled as Hinata blushed. I hope she gets her confidence up soon. The stuttering makes her hard to understand. WLIM, Irika Ramen S says you like? Hinata stuttered out nervously. Naruto blinked, trying to get the information straight. Oh. Yeah. I like ramen. Hinata shakily pointed at the ramen bar, then began to push her fingers together. Sure, Naruto said happily. When they got there, they took their seats and placed their order. They had a bit of conversation. Hinata soon had less of a stutter, and wasn't blushing as much. After about an hour they decided to depart. Naruto paid the bill, much to Hinata's dismay. She was hoping to treat him as a thank you for the home-cooked food. She knew she'd have to do something extra special to thank him, and was thinking of ways to thank him as she ran home. Naruto trotted happily home, thinking of a place that he could train and not cause too much destruction. The next morning Naruto awoke just before sunrise. He yawned, stretched, stood up, took a few steps, and smacked right into a wall. Naruto stood there for a few minuets before realizing what he had done. He let out a bit of a laugh before grabbing his clothes and taking a nice relaxing cold shower to wake him up. After drying himself off, he got dressed, then began his breakfast. He made some toast and drank some water. After he was done with that he grabbed an apple to eat later, replaced the genjutsu, and then left to go train until the sun was almost directly overhead. He went to a spot that wasn't too far from the bridge, but far enough away to not be detected. Kakashi said meet around 7, so that means that I have until 8:30 to train, considering my threat. Needless to say, the small area in which he cleared for himself to train was soon a large crater. He threw a kunai with an exploding tag on it at the last target, and it blew up just as Naruto became too tired to stand. He fell backwards into the crater. Unfortunately, Sasuke and Sakura arrived at the bridge just when they heard the final explosion. They turned to look in the direction it came from and saw a tree fall, as well as smoke. They both thought the worst and took off in the direction it came from. They arrived just in time to see Naruto pull himself out of the crater. Sakura gasped at the destruction, while Sasuke gaped at it. Naruto saw them, sat up, and rubbed the back of his head. Heh, oops, he said solemnly before coughing up some dust. What the hell were you doing? Sasuke asked in monotone. Training, Naruto said sheepishly. Only you could cause that much destruction during training, Sakura stated. I think I used too much chakra when I punched that rock, Naruto grinned. You definitely used too much chakra for punching a rock, she replied. I wonder if I'll ever be able to train without people hanging over me, Naruto thought as he tried to stand but fell down again, his legs refusing to support him. Sasuke went to help Naruto hobble to the bridge. Why do you work yourself to exhaustion? Sakura asked when the two came close to her. Naruto shrugged, too tired to answer. Idiot! She yelled, hitting him on the head, causing Sasuke to lose his grip, making Naruto fall to the ground. I could lend you a tiny bit of my chakra so you could at least walk, the fox said. As long as that's all you give me, Naruto thought to him. Yeah, this is why I'm in control of 25% of all the chakra you have. He heard Kyuubi snicker a bit, as he felt a warm feeling wash over him. It reminded him of Tsunade's healing. You sick? Sasuke asked when he felt the heat coming off of Naruto's body. No, why? Naruto replied. Sasuke was about to say something when Sakura beat him to it. Naruto, the back of your shirt is really shredded. Naruto reached and rubbed his back. It's ripped from the collar to about halfway down, Sasuke said, letting go of Naruto's arm. Oh well, I'll see if I have anything to fix it when I get home. Naruto rubbed the back of his head nervously. Naruto grabbed his orange jacket that was lying by a very lucky tree that was still standing nearby. He put it on over his tattered navy t-shirt. They walked in silence until they got to the bridge. Naruto sat on the railing, eating the apple he had brought. An hour later Kakashi showed up. Wow, only an hour and a half late. That's actually a big improvement, Naruto thought as he joined Sakura in yelling, "You're late." Yeah, sorry about that, but you see, there was this tree and it was stuck up in a cat and wait. No. That's not right, Kakashi said, rubbing his chin. Right. If you're going to make an excuse, at least make it believable, Naruto said as he rolled his eyes. Yes, well anyway, we have a full schedule of exciting D-ranked missions, Kakashi said happily. Yay, Naruto said sarcastically. Sasuke shot him a questioning glance before turning his attention back to Kakashi, who started to explain exactly what these missions entailed. Once he was done, he led the ever-so-excited genin to their first job, finding a cat. They were given out earpieces so they could coordinate the plan better. They were shown a map of the forest, then given their positions, and told to begin their sweep of the area. Naruto almost instantly caught the scent of the cat and followed it. About 5 minutes after beginning, Naruto had the cat. He happily announced to his team, "Haha. Told you I'd find it first. HOW." The three walked out to where Kakashi was waiting for them, Naruto holding the cat that was growling and scratching him to pieces. Naruto was angrily growling back. Sakura finally took the cat after it got a few deep gouges on Naruto's face and bite marks on his hand. Sasuke raised an eyebrow at the way the cat seemed willing to do anything to kill Naruto. He doesn't like his owner that much, Naruto said when he felt the air of confusion. When they returned the cat to its owner, she hugged the poor thing nearly to death. The next mission they had was to simply help pick the fruit trees. There were about 50 in all. Sakura started on an apple tree while Sasuke started picking peaches. Naruto, however, lined up the remaining fruit baskets before making 47 clones. They were done in 30 minutes due to Naruto's multitasking. They whizzed through all the missions and were done around 2 o'clock. They definitely surprised the Hokage at their fast work. We want to have a harder mission, Naruto stated. The Hokage sighed as Iruka started scolding Naruto. He was there handing the Hokage some paperwork when Team 7 came in. You are genin, and rookies at that. You are still too underexperienced to handle anything more difficult, was the Hokage's reply. Hear me out, please, Hokage-sama, Naruto said, causing Iruka to raise an eyebrow. The Hokage complied, knowing that not to would lead to a lot of arguing. I've seen enough Ds, and that's even before I was considered a ninja. Just take a look at my academy report card, Naruto mumbled before continuing. We are completing the D-ranked missions quite quickly, and since we need to have missions all day, there might not be enough for all the others. We need a mission that will keep us occupied and challenge us so we can gain experience for even harder missions. The Hokage smiled while Iruka had to pick his jaw up off the floor. Sakura was wide-eyed, as was Sasuke, having never heard Naruto speak and sound intelligent. Kakashi was giggling as he read his book. That actually sounded not dumb, Sasuke said, surprised. I'll take that as a compliment, Naruto replied with a smirk. Well, alright then, you do bring up a good point. I'll give you a low-level C mission, simple guard duty. You will guard the master bridge builder Tazuna on his way to Wave Country tomorrow. The Hokage called him in. These pint-sized brats are going to be the ones protecting me? There's an arrogant brat, a puffy princess, and a midget. Sakura began to fume and Sasuke's eye began to twitch at the comment. However, Naruto stayed surprisingly calm. Kakashi stepped forward. Yes, but I'm a jounin and I also will be accompanying you. The old man grunted as he took out a flask. And you're a drunk, Sasuke stated simply, causing Tazuna to blink. Okay, is everyone done being negative? Naruto asked, grinning, causing everyone to look at him, confused. Anyway, you will start tomorrow morning at 8 in the morning. Meet at the north gate, the Hokage said. Team 7 nodded. Pack only the essentials, he advised. Hey Iruka? Naruto asked before leaving. What is it, Naruto? Could you look after my place while I'm gone? Iruka nodded. Naruto then did his Oiroke no Jutsu. Thanks again, she said, causing the 2 older men to fall backwards from massive nosebleeds. Naruto ran after his team laughing at his prank, knowing that his little follower was in the room. When Naruto finally caught up with his team, Kakashi told Team 7 that they were given the rest of the day off so they could rest up for their mission before poofing away. Naruto sighed and turned to his team. I wonder. He smiled a crooked smile before asking as cheerily as he could, I'm going to the lake in the forest, you guys wanna come? Sasuke made no expression, even when Sakura came from behind and tried to hug him. He simply did what Naruto had named the shudder shuffle. He shuddered then quickly moved, scuffing his feet on the ground. Sasuke grunted after a moment of silence. I'll go if Sasuke goes, Sakura chimed, causing Sasuke to inch away even more. Sasuke grunted again. Naruto smiled. Maybe I'll get my happy friends back sooner than I thought, Naruto thought as he began to leave his teammates, hoping they were following. They soon came to the lake after walking in silence the whole time, Naruto thinking about the great friendship he had shared with Sasuke. After he gave up the whole "my whole clan is dead, I must be an Avenger" thing. Sasuke, however, was thinking differently. He invited me along. That can only mean he wants to fight. Perhaps he's going to tell me how to get that strange chakra he's been giving off lately. Or maybe it's a trap, and so on. Sakura was just happy to be near Sasuke and blushed every time she looked at him. Hope she snaps out of that quickly, Naruto thought, glancing back. Yes, poor Sakura had to abandon her feelings for Sasuke when he ran away to join Sound, turning her affections to the person who always let her have his shoulder to cry on. She agreed to go out with him after about 6 months, and after a very, very extreme makeover. Naruto chuckled, remembering how he had helped tame the green beast of Konoha. Poorly. His forehead was red for 3 days. Thankfully they used permanent hair remover so his eyebrows won't grow back. Hell, even Sasuke had eventually found someone to love, even though he was the last one to get married. They had had to be the scariest couple in Konoha. Flashback. Come on, Sasuke! You're supposed to dance. Naruto whined. The rookie 9+ Niji's team were all in a nightclub. Sasuke was brought along, told they were going to a party, but in reality, everyone was setting him up. Yeah, Sasuke, let loose for once in your life, Hinata Egon. Naruto had been married to Hinata for about a year at that point. I don't dance. That's the point I'm trying to make, Sasuke said. Over the years Sasuke had given up on his revenge and become more open to the people he was close to. Naruto rolled his eyes and saw Sakura signaling to him. Sakura had brought Indigo with her to set Sasuke up with her. Indigo was a ninja from the Hidden Mist who moved to Konoha in hopes of becoming one of the best medic nins. Problem was, she had a personality like a brick. Naruto grabbed Sasuke's shoulders, as did Sakura to Indigo. They both pushed them over to the stools, where they now sat side by side. Sakura looked Indigo in the eyes and said, Fine, if you're not going to dance, just sit here. Naruto did the same to Sasuke. Sasuke and Indigo whined in unison. HNNN? They asked at the same time as they turned to each other. GRRRRR. They growled angrily at each HNN. They both looked surprised. HNNNN. They seemed to say flirtingly. You're hot, they both said, causing the other to blink. Wanna go train? Indigo asked, almost excited. Do I ever? Sasuke said almost happily. And with that, they both walked out of the club, leaving a creeped out Sakura, Hinata, and Naruto with their eyes twitching. That was creepy, the three said at the same time. We have created a relationship bound by one word, Sakura said. I pity their children, Naruto said, causing his two friends to shudder at the thought. They will be able to freeze lava by glaring at it, Hinata said. Scratch my last comment, I pity their children's classmates, Naruto said. The three glanced nervously at each other before being pulled back to the dance floor. End flashback. Naruto had been lost in his memories and began laughing out loud. When he snapped out of his thoughts, he was ankle deep in water. Sakura and Sasuke gave him a weird look as Naruto smiled nervously. Sorry, just lost in my memories. Are we going to fight? Sasuke asked, changing the subject. Naruto blinked. No. Then why am I here? Sasuke asked. So we can bond, and become closer friends, and have better teamwork? Naruto offered. I don't need any of that. All I need is power, Sasuke said coldly. Naruto sighed as he walked out of the water and grabbed 2 rocks and a small vine. You say you want power, yet true power comes from friendship and teamwork, Naruto started. While this seems like deja vu, Sakura blinked. He's being philosophical again. He seems totally different ever since he graduated. Alone you can only do so much, Naruto said as he dropped one of the stones he picked up. It fell, moving the sand out and making a small hole. He then carefully picked up the stone and tied it together with the other stone he had. But if you have someone to back you up, Naruto dropped the 2 stones tied together a little bit away from the first crater. They fell, making a bigger hole than the single stone. You can do a lot more. Naruto pointed to the holes in the sand. Sasuke had no facial expression. There's nothing wrong in asking for help to achieve your goals, Naruto said, hoping to get through his thick layer of angst. You never had a family. What would you know? Sasuke growled. A lot more than you give me credit for, Naruto said calmly. Yep, definitely deja vu, yeah, but hopefully it will have the same outcome. This caught Sasuke's attention. You know that I can't beat you in a sparring match, right? Naruto asked. This caused Sasuke to look Naruto in the eye and nod. But if I team up with Sakura, I bet we could beat you, Naruto said, stressing the we. You're on! Sasuke shouted as he jumped back. Naruto turned to Sakura. We'll attack from opposite sides, you distract him while I go in to hold him down, Naruto whispered to her. I can't hurt Sasuke, Sakura shouted, causing Naruto to roll his eyes. If you beat him, he'll probably pay more attention to you, Naruto coaxed. Beat him into submission? Never thought of that, hell yeah. Sasuke will have to notice me. Alright, I'll do it, Sakura said after a moment alone with herself. Naruto nodded. I'll leave you with a clone so he won't notice me as easily, Naruto said as he quickly made a clone then jumped off. Sasuke was too infuriated to take notice of this as Sakura and the clone charged. Sasuke dodged and blocked, but he found it rather difficult to get any punches in. He threw a punch at Sakura, who dodged and retaliated with a punch of her own. It hit, and was probably going to leave a nice purple bruise under his eye. Before he knew it, he was on the ground with Naruto standing on his back holding a kunai to his neck. He wasn't sure how it had happened, but one thing for certain, he had lost a match. To the dead last and a fangirl no less. Case in point, Naruto said, letting Sasuke up. Sasuke grumbled incoherently under his breath. Anyway, do you see what I'm trying to tell you? Now I'm going to do what I came here in the first place for, Naruto said as he took off his jacket. It doesn't matter. No one will ever change the fact that I'm an Avenger, Sasuke half shouted. Naruto shrugged. He went over to place his things on a large rock. Sakura blushed a bit when Naruto came back over wearing nothing but his green boxers. He went into the lake and started to swim. It was a saltwater lake that was connected to a river from the Wave Country's oceans. Sasuke was still angry, but it was slowly subsiding. Sakura was happy Sasuke wasn't moving away from her. You coming in? Naruto yelled from the middle of the lake. Sakura took a few steps and sat on a rock, letting her feet get wet. Sasuke just stood there, lost in his thoughts of destruction. Well, that went well, Naruto said to himself before diving to find what he was looking for. At the bottom he found what he wanted, some very shiny shells and quite a few oysters. He grabbed as many as he could carry then started to surface. Once his head broke into the air, he swam back to shore where a curious Sakura was sitting. Shells and clams, dobe? Sasuke asked, coming back to reality. What are they for? Sakura asked, picking up a silvery blue shell. Hinata, I'm giving her a gift, Naruto said as he grabbed a stick. Oh yeah, what girl wouldn't want clams, Sasuke said looking at the oyster. First of all, they're oysters, and second, it's the inside that counts, Naruto said as he popped open an oyster, revealing a pearl. Sakura instantly went into girly mode. Ah, that's so sweet, she said, imagining Sasuke giving her a pearl necklace, pearl earrings, etc. Why don't you just buy one? Sasuke asked, calmly forgetting the earlier events. I don't have enough money, so I'll do the next best thing. Pfft. Who needs love? Sasuke said, more to himself than his team. Naruto sighed at the comment before turning to see a square rock. Naruto looked at his teammates, and jabbed a thumb at the rock. Sakura giggled, still lost in thought, and Sasuke raised an eyebrow. Well, whatever, I'm leaving, Sasuke said and began to walk off. Sasuke, wait for me. Will you maybe do something with me? Sakura screamed as she ran after Sasuke. Hey! Don't leave me all alone with the totally unsuspicious square rock with eye holes, Naruto yelled sarcastically. He turned to the rock and sighed. And you would be? Naruto asked. As if I didn't already know. You're very good to have noticed me. Just what I expected from you, boss. And with that the rock blew up. Konohamaru started to cough and hack from inhaling the smoke. I Choga want you to Choga teach me how to do what you did to Choga the Hokage and Irika. The kid whined. On one condition, Naruto said, closing an eye. Okay, what? Konohamaru asked eagerly. Help me open these oysters to get the pearls, Naruto said happily. The kid blinked. He was expecting something hard to prove he could do it. After collecting the things he needed and putting the pearls and shells in an inside pocket, he began the long process to train Konohamaru to do the sexy no jutsu. It took a few hours for him to get it right. Naruto grinned in remembrance. He may have been 23, but, thanks to that jutsu, infiltration missions were a breeze. Thank the heavens for perverted men. After he perfected the jutsu and a few lectures from Naruto on why he wanted to be the Hokage, Ebisu showed up. "Ah, there you are, young master," he said, jumping down from a tree. "You must come back with me imminently to continue your training." Konohamaru then transformed into his version of the sexy no jutsu. Ebisu got a small nosebleed, blinked, and then went on to grab Konohamaru. Naruto made about 30 clones and transformed them all. The poor man flew back with a massive nosebleed. "Wow, that was amazing, boss!" The kid yelled as Naruto walked over to where Ebisu flew. "That was disgraceful," the fox said as he examined the unconscious man. "Hey, don't want to change history too much. I just want to help the good get here faster," Naruto thought to Kyubi. Naruto soon left the lake and went home to make the necklaces for Hinata. It was dark when he had finished and set out to find her. It didn't take long for him to find her. She was in a training ground beating up a stump. "Hey Hinata!" he called, causing her to jump. "Oh. Hello Naruto," she replied, blushing. "I got a surprise for you," Naruto said happily. Hinata's whole face went red. What is it?" Hinata asked excitedly, though it sounded more nervous. Naruto then brought out a small thing wrapped up in tissue. Hinata took it and gasped aloud when she saw it. "I'm going on a long mission, now you'll have a part of me with you. I hope you like it. I made it myself, so it's like I put my heart and soul into it," Naruto said, smiling. Naruto had strung the pearls in between the pieces of multicolored shells. At the front there were 3 aqua pieces of shell. Needless to say, her voice abandoned her. She put it on and turned bright red as she did so. "TT thank you," was all she managed to stammer out. "Glad you like it," Naruto said. "Let's do something when I get back, Kay?" Hinata nodded and Naruto turned to leave, but then turned back to face Hinata. Hinata blushed even more at this. "Almost forgot," he said as he moved in closer. Hinata felt her face burn up as he moved closer and closer. A new type of tomato was formed as she felt what she had always dreamt about feeling one day. Naruto had kissed her. It was on the cheek, but that's all the proof she needed. Finally she knew, he liked her too. Naruto then turned to leave, grinning like a madman. He was still smiling when he got home. Hinata, however, stood dazed for a bit before fainting, still bright red. As soon as Naruto got home he began to pack. Colorful language filled the air since Naruto was slowly realizing he didn't have half of what he wanted. He simply packed everything that was required with a few snacks, along with a few other things that he thought might be useful. As soon as he was packed he went into the happy bliss known as sleep. He woke up the next morning greeting the sun's rays. Grumbling, knowing the fact that he wouldn't be able to get any more sleep, he sat up. "Damn son, it won this round," he said through a yawn. He stripped off his pajamas, took a shower, bashing into a wall on the way, got dressed, and ate breakfast. Making sure everything was good to go, he left. He dropped his key off to Irika by slipping it through the mail slot before rushing off to the village gate to meet his team. He only had to wait 20 minutes for his team to arrive, then only another 10 for Kakashi to come with Tazuna. Once they were all there, they went over some things before leaving. The beginning of the trip turned out to be boring. Naruto was going over what had happened last time on the mission. He had to smile at how naive he had been. He began to meditate while still walking, a trick he had learned from Lee. Lee had also taught him how to sleep while running, a trick which he was thankful for when traveling extremely far distances in short periods of time. However, it didn't last long. He soon heard a rustle in the bushes. He smirked, remembering the demon brothers of the mist. He opened his eyes and spotted the puddle in the middle of the road. An idea pulled into his head. "You guys go on a bit. I gotta take a leak," Naruto said to his team. "Idiot, don't tell us this," Sakura yelled as she went to punch him on the head. Naruto was about to dodge but then stopped himself. Sakura stomped away happily, seeing the bump she had inflicted. Naruto grinned evilly at the puddle and took his leak. Kakashi was watching Naruto from behind him, feeling sorry for the guys who he knew were hiding in there. Oh well, can't be helped, he thought. The demon brothers were beyond pissed. They were going to take out the Jounin first, but the kid just changed their minds. They'd kill this brat first. When Naruto started to walk away, the demon brother who was in the puddle came up and out, eye twitching with a deranged look on his face. "I'll kill you for doing that, brat," he yelled as his brother jumped down out of the tree. Naruto put on his innocent face, then looked back at Kakashi. There was a guy in the puddle? He asked, innocent face on. When Kakashi nodded, his team all made disgusted faces. Naruto looked as if to say their fault, not mine. He was about to turn back around to fight them when he felt the cold metal wrap around his body. Kakashi had never been so worried in all his life. He was worried for his student. Annoying though he may be, he'd never hear the end of it if he got killed. Kakashi was about to run when the brothers pulled tight the chains. The metal bit into Naruto's flesh, blood slipped down them and onto the ground. The two pulled tighter and tighter until the chains were no longer visible, being deeply embedded in flesh. When Naruto slumped over, the two dropped him, completely mangled. Naruto! Kakashi screamed. Naruto! Sakura yelled, tears beginning to well up in her eyes. Idiot! Sasuke said loudly and angrily, but his voice held a hint of remorse. Poor kid! Tazuna gasped. Kakashi closed his eyes, then hung his head, knowing he had lost one of his first students. When Naruto slumped over, the two dropped him, completely mangled. Naruto! Kakashi screamed. Naruto! Sakura yelled, tears beginning to well up in her eyes. Idiot! Sasuke said loudly and angrily, but his voice held a hint of remorse. Poor kid! Tazuna gasped. They all had a mix of emotions. Anger and sadness. Nuh! He was so young! Was heard from behind them. They turned to look. Sasuke's eye began to twitch. Why are we all yelling? Naruto asked, confused. Now they all had a different mix of emotions. Anger, wanting to punch Naruto's head in for making them worry, and hugging him for being alright. We thought you got yourself killed! Sakura screamed. Ah, you care! Naruto said somewhat sarcastically. They all looked back to where they thought Naruto was and heard a loud pop. The mangled Naruto disappeared in a puff of smoke. Kakashi then decided to attack the demon brothers. He quickly knocked them out, tied them up, then came back over. How were you able to do that? Sakura asked. It was just a clone with a replacement jutsu, Naruto whined. Kakashi raised an eyebrow. Naruto, that was a very advanced clone. That clone even bled before it disappeared, he said lazily. I was informed you could do Kage Bunshin, but what was that? Naruto rubbed the back of his head. I call it a chakra bunshin, Naruto announced happily. Interesting, Kakashi said before turning to Tazuna. We need to know some things from you, Kakashi said, causing Tazuna to flinch. We need to know if that was ninja attacking ninja or if it was you they were after. Tazuna sighed and told them his story and why he had lied. Kakashi then explained that the mission just went up to AB rank, and also said they should turn back. But after some group protesting, he caved in and allowed the mission to still be on. They began walking again, but this time Naruto was explaining the chakra bunshin. You said that you called it a chakra bunshin, right? So that means it's of your own invention, Kakashi started, stressing the you called. Naruto nodded. Yeah, when I learned the Kage Bunshin I realized they were solids, which made me think, it would be so cool if they could last as long as I wanted and take more than one hit. So that's what I did. They can even somewhat think on their own, which makes it a lot easier on my part when I need to coordinate them, Naruto said while smiling proudly. That could be quite handy. I'll have to watch for the hand signs. Maybe he'll let me copy it, Kakashi thought. I even learned how to make them without hand seals so I can do it without the enemy seeing, Naruto said, making Kakashi look disappointed. Damn. They only had a bit of peace before Zabuza showed up and attacked them. The genin were to protect the bridge builder while Kakashi fought. Naruto watched as everything took place just as he remembered it. Soon enough Kakashi was imprisoned inside the ball of water and Zabuza had sent a few water clones their way. Naruto made about 100 Kage Bunshins and sloppily punched at the water clones. Sasuke attacked as well, leaving Sakura to defend Tazuna by herself. About half of Naruto's clones had been defeated when he decided to get rid of the water clone. Naruto then made a run for Kakashi, who was yelling at them to run away, and threw an onslaught of weaponry at Zabuza. Naruto made quite sure that the only way for him to come out alive would be to abandon his hold on Kakashi. Zabuza did just that. The distraction even made him lose enough concentration that the water clones that Sasuke and his Bunshins were still fighting dispelled. Gotta love it when things go better than planned, Naruto thought to himself. Kakashi, immediately after being freed from the water prison, uncovered the Sharingan. Kakashi then began to imitate everything that Zabuza did. Can you see into the future? Zabuza asked, somewhat fearful at how fast he was imitating him. Why, yes. Kakashi said as he began to copy Zabuza's water dragon. The water dragons hit each other, spraying water everywhere. Zabuza went to attack again but was stopped when Saban needles pierced into his neck. There's good old Haku, Naruto thought as he spotted him. I've been tracking him for a while now. I thank you and your assistance in this capture, Haku said. Kakashi nodded in response. Haku then took Zabuza away, leaving no trace that they were even there. Kakashi looked like he was completely drained of energy, but luckily they were almost at their destination. Once they got to Tazuna's place, Team 7 helped their sensei up the stairs so he could rest. They all had different outlooks on their current situation. Sakura felt upset that she wasn't able to do more to help. Sasuke was angry that the hunter Nin was stronger than him. Naruto felt bad for not fighting at his full potential, while Kakashi was just glad that everyone was in one piece. They didn't do much for the first bit they were there, as their sensei was out cold and Tazuna didn't go anywhere. Sasuke spent most of his time brooding in a corner, while Sakura and Naruto talked with their client's family. When Kakashi did wake up, though, they went out to do the tree climbing exercise. Now, let's see how we can have some fun with this, Naruto thought as Kakashi explained how to do it. He then climbed up the tree, crutches and all, and hung upside down off a branch, sticking to the bark with his chakra. I want you to get to the top of a tree only using your chakra and by channeling into your legs and feet. When it was their turn to try, Sakura made it up on her first try and Sasuke got up about 2 steps before falling back. Kakashi turned to Naruto expectantly. Come on, Naruto. I understand that chakra control isn't one of your strong points, but Kakashi thought for a moment. I bet Sasuke can do it easier than you, he said, knowing of their rivalry from Irika. But I don't wanna, Naruto yelled childishly. Come on, Naruto, Kakashi said, rubbing his temples. No, I don't wanna, Naruto yelled, crossing his arms on his chest, giving a pout. He could hear the fox laughing to no end in his mind. Naruto turned away from Kakashi so he wouldn't see him smile. Quit being a baby, dope, Sasuke said, standing up. I said I don't wanna, Naruto screamed childishly before stomping off. Kakashi went after him. He didn't have to go far. Oh, for the love of, Kakashi said, smacking his head as he found the blonde. Naruto was standing in the middle of a river, on top of the water. Kakashi grumbled about stubborn know-it-all brats. That's great that you can do that, Naruto. Now let's go take a nice walk on the trees, Kakashi said. Fine, if he wants to act like a child then I'm going to treat him like one, Kakashi thought angrily. I don't wanna, Naruto said simply and turned away again, trying not to laugh. Come on, you can show Sasuke up if you make it up the tree before him, Kakashi bribed. No, was the simple reply. Fine, ultimate bribe. I'll buy you a bowl of Ichiraku ramen when we go back to Konoha, Kakashi coaxed. Back at the trees, Sakura and Sasuke's sweat dropped. They were high enough in the trees so they could see everything and they were talking loud enough they didn't need to get any closer. Sasuke, do you know of any good happy hotels? Sakura asked. If you find one let me know, we'll send him there and split the costs 50-50, Sasuke said. Nope, won't work, Naruto said happily. Kakashi glared. Fine, we'll do things the hard way. Kakashi then went over to Naruto, grabbed him by the back of his shirt collar, and began dragging him back. Sasuke and Sakura nearly face-faulted out of the trees they were in when they saw the look on Naruto's face. When Kakashi brought him back, he glared firmly at him. Naruto crossed his arms yet again and pouted. It was the most pitiful face that any human being could possibly make. Climb, Kakashi said, annoyed. Kit, if you look closely you can see his face turning red with anger. This is more amusing than the time you got your head stuck in that tree and had to carry it to the hospital to get it removed. And with that, Kyuubi burst out into uncontrollable laughter. Must you always insult me? It is what I live for. Naruto sighed, though it went unnoticed. But it's so big. Kakashi gave him a death glare. Fine. Naruto screamed. Kakashi fell back from the volume, then began poking his ear with his pinky. Naruto just walked straight to the tree and climbed all the way up to the top as if it were nothing. Happy now? Naruto said in a bored tone. What? Kakashi blinked, still probing his ear. He looked up the tree. Oh, good job, Naruto. Now was that so bad? Naruto blew Kakashi a raspberry from up in the tree. Kakashi rolled his eaves. Sasuke was mad. No, Sasuke was beyond mad. The idiot, the class clown, the dope, had done better than him. I need more power. These two are surpassing me. I can't let that happen. I need power so I may finally avenge my clan, and so on into much more bloody thoughts. Naruto then simply jumped down, landing soundlessly on the ground. Sakura also came down. The two looked at Kakashi expectantly. Good job," Kakashi said in nervous cheer. "Now I'm going help out Sasuke, okay? I'm off." Then he disappeared into smoke. Naruto turned to Sakura with a smile. "So he started, only to get whacked on the back of the head." "Right, I get it. I'm gone," Naruto said as he put his hands up defensively before taking off. Once out of earshot, Naruto burst out laughing. "I can't believe you actually did that," the fox said. "Thought I'd never be free." "Oh well, got some laughs out of it anyway," Naruto sighed. "Oh well. Now let's find a nice spot to destroy," Naruto said, looking at the poor defenseless trees around him. "Look, 'tis a time skip." It was now sunset, and Sasuke had finally made it to the top of the tree. It had taken him the past 5 hours to get up there. He sighed in triumph. He had used up pretty much all of his chakra. He gulped a bit as a very big realization hit him. How was he to get down? No chakra meant no sticking to the side of the tree. No sticking to the side of the tree meant he was going to have to climb down the normal way. Fortunately for him, the tree had very few branches to interrupt his fall to the ground. Sakura was at the base of tree cheering him on and getting on his nerves. He slowly began his descent to where a rabid pink-haired banshee awaited. Naruto had found / made a nice hole a while back to hide most of the debris he had made, and was already back at the house helping Tsunami cook. Naruto left no proof behind that he had been training in the spot by the river, unless, that is, you count the huge gaping holes filled with branches and mud. Yep, no one would ever know he was there. When Sasuke and Sakura had gotten back, the dinner was already on the table. Everyone had just sat down to eat when the two got in. "I hope you all like it. It isn't much, but at least we won't go hungry," Tsunami said as she sat down at the table. Tazuna seemed to smile at the food in front of him. "Naruto helped me out, and we only used half the food I thought we'd need." Naruto scratched his head upon having his name mentioned but smiled nonetheless. They all sat down to eat but Inari. "It's all pointless. You can never win, only be stopped. And if you do, it's only temporary," Inari said. "Looking downward, you'll just end up dead like all the others." Inari went to leave but Naruto stopped him. "You never know until you try. If you don't fight for change, then there will be none," Naruto said. Inari's eyes began to water. "Don't cry unless you're really happy. It shows weakness," Naruto said softly. Inari then quickly ran off. Naruto sighed, then went back to his meal, the rest of which was eaten in silence. After the meal, Naruto went out to train some more while the other two genin went to sleep and Kakashi had a talk with Inari. Naruto figured he would simply practice taijutsu so as to not cause too much damage. He ended up falling asleep right in the middle of the forest, in a small clearing. The next morning, Team 7-1 woke up with a yawn. Something smells good," Sakura said, breathing deep. Kakashi nodded and left. Sasuke, who was on the other side of the room, pushed himself up groggily. He left into another room to get dressed. When Sasuke went downstairs, he was met with the ever-so-happy sight of Kakashi. "Naruto probably is out in the forest somewhere. Could you go find him and tell him breakfast is almost ready?" Kakashi said in a tone that was too cheery for the morning. "Fine," Sasuke answered miserably. He walked out to find the dobe with a bit of a scowl. He only walked for 5 minutes before he found him. There were a few trees that had fallen, others had multiple dents in them. He looked around, then spotted Naruto right in the middle of it. "Yo, idiot! Wakey wakey, dumbass?" Sasuke glared at Naruto's sleeping form. "Well, I tried being nice," Sasuke thought to himself. Sasuke then went to kick Naruto in the side when he heard a growl. He looked to see a rather large cat protecting him. Sasuke blinked as the large orange cat then curled back up into a ball right beside Naruto, going back to sleep. "NNNN?" Naruto awoke as a bird flew from its perch on his nose. He opened his eyes to see Sasuke staring down at him, raising an eyebrow. Naruto would have jumped away were it not for the unexpected weight on him. "The hell?" he asked himself. The teenage tiger, as Naruto realized, stood up and walked away, realizing its heat source would soon be gone. Naruto moved his arm, causing multiple foxes to run. He sat up confused. "Naruto, I didn't know you were like that," Sasuke smirked a bit. "Haha, real funny," Naruto said, shooing the various animals from around him. Dobe? What, team? What's that on your head?" "Huh," Naruto said, feeling something furry on the top of his head. "Oh shit. It looks like a fox?" Sasuke said, raising an eyebrow. "I can probably," Naruto started. Sasuke took a closer look, then gave a smirk. "I always thought your hair was a rat's nest, not a fox's," Sasuke said, poking an ear. "Huh. Naruto said, dumbfounded. Come on, idiot, stop fraternizing with the wildlife. Breakfast is ready, Sasuke snapped. Naruto reached up to his head but went more to the center. He picked it up so he could look at it. The white and red fox opened its eyes and yawned. Naruto began to laugh. It was a fox. It was just an ordinary fox sleeping on my head. Naruto laughed, relieved. Well duh, what did you think it was? Sasuke asked, looking at Naruto strangely. Kyuubi, I take it you did it for me? Not unless there is someone or something else in here with me that sensed him coming. If there is, please do tell. I would love the company, the fox replied sarcastically. Saves me a long line of questions I have to answer. I'm sure you'll find some way to thank me. Naruto looked up at Sasuke, who was sporting his usual bored expression. Heh, foxes like me, Naruto grinned. Well, at least something does, Sasuke said before walking away. Naruto placed the fox on the ground and followed after him. After they had eaten their meal, Kakashi told them that Tazuna was going to go and work on the bridge, and they were going to make sure that nothing bad happened. Here. Take these with you in case you get tired, Tsunami said as they were about to leave. She handed them all a water bottle, each one looking the same. When they had finally reached the bridge, Team 7 noticed there weren't many people that were there to help build the bridge. Tazuna started getting to work and convincing people to stay. Naruto sighed as he took a sip from his water bottle. Hey! This isn't water, it's sake. I must have gotten the one meant for the old man. Oh well, I could use a drink, Naruto thought to himself as he took a bigger sip. Kit, I don't think you should drink too much of that, Kyuubi advised. I can handle about 3 or 4 bottles before I get drunk. This stuff smells strong, and besides, your child body can't handle that much alcohol. That's impossible, Naruto thought to the fox. See, you're already getting tipsy. Impossible? When we went back you were able to keep your strength because of your own memory, and that memory is transferred to your body so it knows how to react. However, holding your liquor you can't memorize, Kyuubi said, hoping that Naruto wouldn't get drunk. Hey Naruto, you okay? Sakura asked. Yeah, I think so, Naruto said, staggering a little on his feet. Too late, the Kyuubi sighed. You look sick, Sakura said. Maybe you should lie down. Sasuke and I can watch things. Eh? Sasuke/Naruto replied, not really understanding. Kakashi noticed Naruto staggering and decided to take a look, Sasuke following. What's wrong with him? Sasuke asked miserably. Ha, hey /Sasuke, we should get the group back each together. Sing to the girls /, they always like that, Naruto said, swinging an arm over Sasuke's shoulder. What are you talking about, get off, Sasuke said, pushing the blonde away. After ya kicked a bukit de heech for a split. Couldn't replace ya, Naruto said, stressing the syllables on every word. He took another swig of the alcohol. Kakashi took the bottle from him, then his eye turned up into a smile. He'll be fine, he's just drunk, he said happily. Yet Sasuke rolled his eyes. Bukit? Is that even a word? You're drunk. The fox sighed. I drunk not am, Naruto shouted. Idiot. Who ya calling an idiot? Naruto said, staggering. You for getting drunk. And on a mission no less. A mission /? Naruto said. Naruto, who are you talking to? Sakura asked. The fuzzball fox that each lives in my head. Naruto blinked a bit. Right, Sakura said, not noticing Kakashi's eye widen in horror. Now he said that he was going to take control of my body inka heech inca /spicuously before I hurt myself. And others, Naruto said, then staggered back a bit. Kakashi was silently freaking out. He just called me a dumbass but I am above him I have opposable thumbs. Naruto yelled at the top of his lungs, giving thumbs up. The genin of Team 7's sweat dropped, while Kakashi face faulted. Note to self, teach Naruto not to mock the big fox demon who wants to kill us all, Kakashi thought as he stood up. Naruto's eyes closed, and when he reopened them his pupil had a small ring of red around it, though it went unnoticed to all but Kakashi. Well, I'm going to have a little talk with Naruto about the importance of underage drinking. With that he took Naruto off into the nearby woods that were across the bridge. He does mean the importance of not drinking underage, right? Sakura asked Sasuke, but saw he was already walking back to Tazuna. Kakashi had Naruto/Kyuubi by the wrist, and was doing his best to stay calm. What are you going to do with Naruto? Are you going to use his body to get revenge on Konoha? Kakashi said, trying his best to hide his fear and uncovering the Sharingan. Kyubi raised an eyebrow. I would do that, why? He said calmly. This comment startled him. Why, you're not going to kill my team, Kakashi said as threateningly as he could. No, I am not going to harm, maul, or kill anyone in any way, Kyubi said, getting annoyed. The only reason I'm taking control of the kid is because the last time he got drunk let's just say he wasn't allowed anything pointy for a while. Kakashi gulped. He was finally going to ask the question that had been plaguing him for 12 years. Why did you attack Konoha 12 years ago? Kakashi asked, a little calmer now. Kyubi looked him straight in the eye, startling him. I was just passing by in a forest that surrounded your village. I had shrunk my size, so I was no larger than a big dog. A few leaf ninjas spotted me and thought I was sneaking towards the village to attack. They attacked me. I tried to evade, but I wasn't quick enough as I was. I thought I could cover more ground if I had bigger paws, so I went to my normal size. That's when the village sounded the alarm. I was being attacked by nearly everyone I saw. So I was labeled by everyone as a threat. I attacked, hoping that everyone would just leave me alone. I was then confronted by the Hokage, who sealed me into this kit. So you did have reasons other than just wanting a bloodbath, Kakashi said, more to himself than the fox. I could only stay on the defensive for so long. Kakashi nodded. Now that I know the story, I understand, Kakashi said, bringing his forehead protector back down. The kid will be out of his drunken stupor soon, thanks to my healing powers, Kyubi said, and Kakashi nodded, still wary of the kitsune. So then, Naruto knows? Kakashi said. Kyubi Naruto gave him a look that let an unspoken duh hang in the air. How long has he known? Kakashi asked seriously. Since he was 12, but I can't exactly say that, the kitsune thought. Since he was, 4? Kakashi's eye widened in surprise. The boy knew all this time? And yet his voice trailed off. How did he find out? Shit, damn, the kid's better at thinking up lies. Well, he fell asleep during a meditation thing he was doing, trying to open his chakra paths, and when he fell asleep he was brought to me, the kitsune said, shifty-eyed. Naruto will have to come with me to the Hokage when we get back. Kyubi Naruto nodded. Naruto is sobering up a little. Kakashi nodded. Kyubi Naruto closed his eyes, and when they reopened they were once again pure blue. I now have a hangover. Perfect, Naruto said, holding his head. He looked up at a somewhat startled Kakashi. Naruto blinked. I can explain? Or pay for whatever I broke? Naruto offered. Kakashi shook his head. It's not that. When you found out about the Kyubi, why didn't you tell anyone that you knew? Naruto hung his head as if in shame. Kyubi! What did you tell him so I can add to it, and not have two different stories? You first met me when you were 4 during a mediation exercise when you fell asleep. I didn't want it to spread. After I woke up I felt relieved. I finally knew why everyone hated me, yet I didn't want anyone else to hate me. Kakashi nodded. After we get back to Konoha we will have to tell the Hokage, Kakashi said calmly. Naruto nodded. Now, let's go back to the others. Back on the bridge, Sakura was hopelessly trying to get Sasuke to notice her by following him around like a lost puppy, and talking his ear off. Sasuke was getting annoyed and was actually hoping the blonde idiot would get back soon. Sasuke let out an aggravated sigh, hoping Sakura would leave and go do something else. Message not received. Sakura just kept talking. Finally he saw Kakashi and Naruto walking back. He sighed again only to hear laughter. He turned around to see foggy mist setting in over the bridge, limiting his vision. Kakashi and Naruto had run over and Kakashi was now in front of his students and the builder. So here we are, it's our rematch. Zabuza came out of the mist and stood close enough so his figure was made out in the fog. And this time I won't underestimate those brats. He yelled as Haku jumped behind Sasuke and Naruto. Sasuke immediately started attacking Haku, pushing him back deeper into the fog and away from Kakashi and Zabuza. Sakura! Protect Tazuna! Kakashi yelled as he started lifting his headband, showing his Sharingan. They then began to battle. Sasuke had gotten a few hits in on Haku, but Haku had the upper hand. You are quite good. However, what I'm about to do next will be the last thing you see, Haku said calmly as he brought his hands into a seal. Secret Jutsu. Crystal Ice Mirrors. Sasuke looked around as several rectangular blocks of ice rose up and had an image of Haku on each one. Hey Sasuke! Naruto yelled from the outer side of the ice. The next thing he knew, Naruto was right in front of him, about 3 inches from his face. Look, I snuck in here to help you out, Naruto said happily. Idiot, Sasuke muttered. Don't worry, I'll be helpful. Naruto somewhat pouted. Now, while they're distracted, Haku thought as he threw a Saban needle at Sasuke, hoping to hit his lower spine. However, at the exact moment the needle left Haku's hand, Sasuke started to stand up. The needle then hit Sasuke square on the ass. Sasuke, feeling the pain, jumped forward right into Naruto. The two friends met in an unfortunate experience. As the two broke apart, they began gagging, holding their throats. "You son of a bitch!" Naruto hollered. "You jackass!" Sasuke yelled back. "Ick. I thought I escaped that misfortune when I just sat in a seat in class," Naruto thought, spitting. "Best not tell anyone about it, your wife might think you were cheating on her." The fox burst out laughing. Haku was finding it quite hard to stay calm and composed watching the whole scene. "I can't believe you just kissed me," Naruto screamed. Haku couldn't take it anymore. The looks on their faces were getting to him. Naruto looked at a mirror. "You're enjoying this, aren't you? You bastard!" Haku couldn't help it. He was losing control of his mirrors. Naruto had walked back to Sasuke and was holding him by the front collar of his shirt. "This never leaves the dome," Naruto said to Sasuke, who could only nod. Haku lost control of his mirrors completely. The images shattered and the real one fell from the one he was in, which was right above Naruto. Haku fell on Naruto, knocking him forward. Sasuke lost his balance and fell backwards. Naruto, after recovering from his shock, sat up on Sasuke. "You gay bastard!" Naruto and Sasuke both yelled. "You kissed me again!" Naruto screamed at the top of his lungs. Naruto turned to Haku, who was rolled up into a ball laughing. "I swear to God I'll beat you to a bloody pulp for this." Naruto, Sasuke said, getting Naruto's attention. Naruto asked. "Will you get the hell off of me?" Sasuke yelled. Naruto then realized the position that he and Sasuke were in. "AGH!" Naruto yelled as he stood up away from Sasuke. This gave Haku only more to laugh at. The two turned to him. Sasuke's anger kept rising. He could see red. "Literally got some rope?" Naruto asked through gritted teeth, taking notice that Sasuke's Sharingan was activated. Sasuke nodded and handed Naruto a long rope. "You are going to get so much done to you!" Naruto yelled as he started to tie the hunter Nin up. Haku had stopped laughing but was in a stupor when Sasuke punched the Nin in the head. Outside the icy dome, Kakashi, Tazuna, Zabuza and Sakura had turned their heads towards where Naruto and Sasuke had run off, and were listening ever since they had heard the first yell. They were all still until the yelling stopped. Kakashi looked at Zabuza. "Should we check on them?" Kakashi asked. "Don't change the subject. We're still fighting here. And besides, it sounds like they're getting along just fine." Kakashi looked somewhat disturbed at what the other man had said. "In the current situation, it would be wise to choose your words carefully." Sakura looked thoroughly disgusted. "Do I even want to know what poor Sasuke is going through?" she asked herself. A sharp noise caught her ears. She turned to look towards her teacher, who was currently holding a glowing blue ball. "Chidori!" Kakashi screamed as he charged at Zabuza. "Chidori!" Kakashi screamed as he charged at Zabuza. Blood splattered as the Chidori hit. The light faded to reveal what Kakashi had hit. Zabuza's shoulder was bleeding heavily. "You missed your target. Guess that eye of yours isn't as great as it seemed," Zabuza said, although strained, moving a kunai closer to his neck. The air around the two Jonin was thick with tension, anger, and all around frustration, when, "Hey Kakashi-sensei. We tied up the perverted transvestite, is that alright?" "Well, at least it was." "That brat always ruins the mood," Zabuza said, looking in the direction where he heard the kid's voice. Sasuke and Naruto came running out of the fog carrying a big bundle. Naruto had removed Haku's mask and loved the expression on Sasuke's face when he learned that Haku was in fact a guy. "How could they defeat Haku?" Zabuza said, quite startled. "Oh, that's easy." Naruto started smiling like an idiot. "We made him laugh himself out of the ice mirror," he said happily. Everyone but Sasuke, Naruto and Haku face faulted, although Haku snickered a little. Naruto blinked. "Huh? You're still awake? I could have sworn you passed out from lack of air when you were having that fit back there," Naruto said, confused. "No, I was quite awake," Haku replied. "And you still let us do all that to you?" Sasuke said, eyeing a bruise on Haku's cheek. Sakura suddenly screeched, "What the hell were you three doing over there?" The three blinked. "What do you mean?" Haku asked. Sakura's eye twitched. "And never mind." Sasuke and Naruto brought Haku over and put him down beside Sakura, who looked extremely relieved. "You were just beating him up, that's good," she said, more to herself. The others heard her but decided against asking. I have my reasons for letting you do what you did, Haku said in a monotone. Naruto looked at Haku sympathetically. I never did really learn why he ended up like that, Naruto thought, thinking back to his first childhood. I should probably stop Kakashi from hurting Zabuza too badly too, so he might be able to hold up against Gata's army. Then he sensed it. Off to the northern part of the bridge. Gata was there watching from in the fog. He was most likely there last time, the fox answered before Naruto could ask. Kakashi was so into his battle last time that he missed the aura, and back then we couldn't sense it unless it was a really big chakra source. Naruto thought excitedly. Perfect. With that thought in mind, Naruto ran off into the direction he felt the aura, leaving everyone very confused. If I can find some way to get him to spill his guts earlier than last time, Zabuza might have a chance, Naruto said happily as he raced to the source. Sure enough, he soon saw the shapes in the distance get clearer. He was soon in earshot. When he gets killed by that Kakashi, we swoop in and finish the injured guy off, someone said. That fool, did he really expect Gata to pay him? This was his plan from the start, and he fell right into his trap. And soon he will be dead. Naruto recognized that particular voice as Gatu. Naruto smiled. That was easier than I thought it would be, he said to himself, tapping a microphone that was hanging off his shirt collar. He had dropped the earpiece on Haku when he ran off. With any luck they heard it, and Zabuza will. Naruto smiled even broader, seeing the fog lift. Then he laughed, seeing how far he had actually run in the fog. His team was only about 10 meters away from him. Gata looked smug and confident as he called out, well, you're not dead yet? But you must be injured quite a bit because the fog lifted. No matter, you will die here. Gata held up a cane, causing his lackeys to charge. Zabuza turned back for a second and Sasuke threw him a few kunai. He put one in his mouth, and had one in each hand. He charged, but unlike last time, he was only slightly injured. He hadn't yet lost the nerves in his arms, but they were both still badly injured, giving him limited ability with them. His arms hung loosely as he spun, kicked, and head-butted through all of the lackeys in his way to Gatu. He eventually got to Gatu and once again hit him over the edge of the bridge. However, this time, Zabuza did not fall over. This time he walked over to Haku, who was still tied up. Naruto went back to his team and was watching intently. Haku, Zabuza started. Haku looked up attentively. Yes? He asked. I want you to live your life the way you want to. Haku was taken aback at these words. But my life is yours. My only purpose is to serve you, Haku said, surprised. Then serve me by living the way that you want, follow your own dream, live your own life, Zabuza said, not looking at the boy the whole time. Booty Haku looked confused. Don't be a tool to anyone anymore, I shall do the same. Zabuza then looked the boy in the eye. Goodbye. You shall be happier this way. I will visit, I promise, Zabuza said before disappearing in a swirl of mist. It seemed that only Naruto caught the last part, and smiled softly. So what will you do now? Naruto asked. And tell you that some of Gata's men are still alive and coming this way? Haku asked, confused. Well, that's a start of thinking on your own, Naruto said before he realized what exactly Haku said. You killed our meal ticket, someone yelled from behind. Ah shit, Naruto mumbled. Sasuke saw an arrow fly over to the lackeys and looked to where it had been shot from. Inari was standing there with the whole village behind him. Kakashi had used a cloning jutsu and there were now 20 of him. Everyone watched as the lackeys seemed to get cold feet as they ran the other way, yelling "Ack! We're outnumbered!" Sakura cut Haku's ropes and he was now standing facing Naruto. If you'd like you can come back to Konoha with us? Kakashi said. Haku nodded. Yes, I would like that. Naruto smiled. Sorry about tying you up. But it's okay, we can be friends now. Idiot mode commence, the fox said as if he were piloting a fighter ship. Friends? Yes, and I am also sorry for making you and your precious person, he started. But was cut off by two extremely loud shouts of that never leaves the ice dome. Haku blinked. But yeah, apology accepted, Naruto said. Inari by this time had led the villagers over to where they were standing. You did it, Naruto! Inari yelled happily. And you as well, Naruto smiled. Team 7 plus Haku were escorted by the village back to the bridge to see them off. They all waved their goodbyes. Inari cried out his happy tears as he made Naruto promise he would come back to visit. Team 7 went happily home on the newly named Great Naruto Bridge. Later that day, Team 7 plus Haku were still traveling, but they seemed to be taking less time to get back than they took to get there. It was also quiet, maybe too quiet, well, unless you count the occasional giggle coming from Haku and Kakashi, and the occasional swearing coming from Naruto, and the occasional death threats coming from Sasuke, and the sounds of a daydreaming preteen girl. Okay, so maybe it wasn't all that quiet. Soon they had gotten back to Konoha, snapping everyone out of the little worlds they were in and bringing them back to reality. Once back inside, Kakashi spoke up. Naruto, Haku, could you two come with me to the Hokage? And Sasuke, Sakura? The two looked up. You're dismissed, he said lazily before ushering Haku and Naruto off to the Hokage tower. They had only been walking for a few minutes when Haku began noticing the glares of the villagers. He shuddered slightly as lost memories from the past came up. Naruto noticed this and said solemnly, Don't worry, they're throwing the glares at me, not you. Haku looked over at the blonde boy. Why would they hate you like this? Haku asked. Perhaps he is like me? Haku thought to himself. Something from my past that I had no control over, Naruto replied. Haku nodded in understanding. Kakashi smiled knowingly. Those two would get along just fine. Soon they arrived at the Hokage tower, where Kakashi went in to talk to the third first. Then Naruto went in to talk to the Hokage, repeating the same story he had told Kakashi earlier. He even managed to get his eyes to water just enough to the point where it looked realistic. The fox was giving him a fake Grammy Award for his wonderful performance. So you fell asleep meditating, was brought to the Kyuubi's prison, and became friends with him, the Hokage repeated for the 5th time. Naruto nodded and sniffed. I was just really scared about telling anyone. I didn't want to drive anyone else away, Naruto said. And the winner of the Best Leading Actor award is Uzumaki Naruto. The fox said I couldn't have done it without years of practice. Thank you. Naruto thought back to the Kyuubi. Okay, thank you Kakashi and Naruto. Now, who is the person who would like to come into the village? Naruto was then ushered out of the Hokage's office and told to tell Haku to come in, and then he was to wait in the waiting room. After a few minutes Haku came out, but he had a leaf headband on instead of a mist one. Well, Kakashi started, the Hokage has decided to make Haku a genin. You are going to be the one showing him around, Kakashi said happily. Naruto nodded. Where will he live? Naruto said after a moment of thought. Kakashi's smile seemed to widen under the mask. Well, as luck would have it. I really don't like his tone, Naruto thought. There is an apartment room open, in the building where you currently reside. His visible eye starting to take on that familiar U shape. Naruto blinked. Since when? Right beside you. He looked as if he would burst out with laughter at any moment from the expression on Naruto's face. Naruto almost face faulted. That's it. I thought I was going to be tethered to him, or something. I hate when he does that outside. He just nodded with a big smile, his eye twitching slightly. Haku walked over to him and smiled as well. I shall try to do my best as a Konoha shinobi and as a friend. Naruto was told by Kakashi to take Haku out to get some things he would need for his new apartment. The Hokage was nice enough to give Haku some money. The first thing Haku had bought was a bed. Which leads us to the lesson for the day. No matter how much of a powerful shinobi you are, it still takes more than 2 people to get a damn bed into a door. Carrying it to the apartment was no problem. Either was getting the thing into the building through the double doors, and getting a 300-pound bed up the stairs. Oh no, but the door to Haku's apartment was smaller. Much smaller. God damn it! Get it in there! Naruto shouted, getting more frustrated by the minute. I can't push any harder without breaking it. Haku yelled, also getting angry at the inanimate object. I think it's almost through. Try a different angle. Naruto yelled. NNNN. NRG. GRA. GK. Now what? Naruto asked. Perhaps you could explain what you two were doing up here, Sakura said, twitching as she walked up, Hinata beside her. Do you know how that sounded? Hinata said, louder than usual. Well, at least for her. Sakura looked over at the girl who was red-faced. Noticing all eyes on her, she deepened in color. Sorry, she stuttered softer. Everyone face faulted. Hey Hinata! Sakura! What are you doing here? Naruto asked, peeking out of the doorway. Well, I asked Kakashi where Haku went so I could help him get better settled in. He told me that this is where he was going to live. Here, Sakura said, handing Haku a plate of cookies. Thank you, he said, standing to take them. Heh, so, anyway Haku, where's the bedroom? Naruto asked, remembering the bed. 3 doors down the hall and to the left, Haku said miserably. We'll help you, Sakura said happily. I'll help too, Hinata stuttered, blushing. Okay, This is the last door, Naruto said tiredly. Hey, Hinata? Naruto asked. Why, yes? Hinata replied. After we're done here, how about I cook us dinner? Naruto asked, making Hinata's face light up. Why, yes, I'd like that. If it's not too much tea trouble, she replied, pushing her fingers together. Ah, he's sweet when he's not being annoying and bothering me, Sakura thought as she began to push. Naruto went on the other side and began to pull. There was a pop outside the apartment, though no one heard it. A certain silver-haired jounin had poofed in for a visit. Hold it, Sakura. Stop for a minute, okay, move. No, you gotta push it in from there, Naruto said as Kakashi opened the door. Well, I could get it in if you would come over here and put some muscle into it, Sakura replied. And maybe we should all push it in together? Hinata suggested. Kakashi at this time was looking at them almost disappointedly. You know, Kakashi started, catching the four's attention. Kakashi smiled underneath his mask. Did you push that thing through all the other doors? Everyone nodded. Kakashi smirked under the mask. That thing can fold in half, you know. What? Sakura and Naruto yelled at the top of their lungs. Kakashi walked over to the bed and moved what was thought to be a decoration on either side, then, pushing the middle, made the bed fold in half. Want me to help get the rest of your things? Kakashi asked, seeming to get happier at the fact that everyone was glaring at him. Didn't I ever teach you to look underneath the underneath? He asked, turning his eye into a U. After a bit more glaring Kakashi, Haku and Sakura went off to find other necessities for Haku. Naruto was left with Hinata, not that he minded, of course. Naruto brought Hinata next door into his apartment. That fact made her spawn a new type of tomato on her face. How's seasoned chicken and rice sound? Naruto asked after a moment of searching through his cupboards. She nodded and began playing with her fingers and pursing her lips. Maybe he likes me? Maybe he really likes me? And more thoughts similar to that were going through her head. When the meal was done, they began to eat, Hinata all the while trying to refrain from doing what she had done last time he cooked for her, in the process making faces that Naruto couldn't help but smile at. You know, Naruto started, causing Hinata to jump in surprise. You should really let loose once in a while. Dig in, Naruto said as he began to shovel food in his mouth like he hadn't eaten in a week. Hinata blinked. Okay or nothing, she thought as she brought the plate up to her mouth and began eating as fast as Naruto. Wow! I've always wanted to do that, Hinata thought as she brought the plate down. She looked over at Naruto, who was grinning. This as always caused Hinata to blush. Now that's the girl I love, Naruto said happily. Hinata blinked. Hello, love? She managed to stammer out. He loves me, was her last thought before she passed out. Naruto looked dumbfounded. Well, that was unexpected, he said to himself. Oh well, at least she ate first. Naruto then went on to clean the plates. When he was done, he looked out the window and realized how late it was. He smiled softly as he picked up the unconscious Hinata and placed her gently on the couch. He went and got a blanket for her and covered her up. He then went and found a piece of paper and wrote her a note, telling her that if she woke up and went to leave, she could wake him up if she wanted. Kyubi, if she wakes up, can you? Don't worry. Thanks. Naruto yawned and went to get changed and then climbed into bed. Naruto awoke with a yawn the next morning after a nice long good night's sleep. He moved sluggishly towards his closet, but soon jolted completely awake. Hinata! He realized out loud. He quickly got dressed and replaced the genjutsu before running out to where he placed Hinata the night before. That looks very uncomfortable, the fox said. Hinata must have fainted again in the night, I guess. Hinata had her legs on the floor but her back on the cushions and head at a 90-degree angle propped up on the back. Naruto noticed the note in her hand and sighed. Probably fainted after realizing where she was, Naruto thought, and let out a small chuckle. Naruto calmly picked her up and placed her back on the couch in a more comfortable position, before going to the kitchen to make something for breakfast. He smiled as he realized how he could wake Hinata up. About an hour later, Naruto was waving a pan of freshly baked cinnamon rolls under Hinata's nose. Within seconds, Hinata was up and looked as though she would start drooling any second. She then realized she was still in Naruto's apartment and began to blush. Here's breakfast, Naruto said cheerily. TTH, thank you, she stammered. Stay calm, remember what happened yesterday, he said. He loved at that thought. She blushed more, averting her eyes from Naruto's. The more outgoing me, the true me? By this time, Naruto had opened Hinata's hand to place a cinnamon bun on her palm. Hinata realized this and began to eat. You don't need to be embarrassed around me. I mean, come on. Hinata looked up at his grinning face. Hinata smiled a little. She couldn't resist poking fun at him. Course, this is coming from the guy who picks his nose in public. She trailed off, turning a darker red, realizing he had heard her say it. Naruto just laughed. Exactly. She smiled at knowing he wasn't insulted. You just need more confidence. How about we train together today? Naruto asked, offering Hinata another cinnamon roll. Am I to like that? She stammered. Well, little outbursts of confidence is better than no confidence, right? The QB said, snickering a little. Head nose picker. Shouldn't be talking, but Licker the fox twitched. Oh, one time. Besides, I already told you I was cleaning myself. QB growled. Sure you were. After they were done eating, Naruto went to the kitchen to clean up, leaving Hinata to wander the apartment aimlessly. After about 5 minutes she found something she thought interesting. Naruto's calendar. Looking it over, her eyes soon went wide. She only had enough time to move away just as Naruto came out. Ready? He asked. She nodded and followed him out the door and down the stairs. What about your sensei? Won't he be wondering where you are? Hinata asked as they began to leave the property. Nah, he'll probably end up 3 hours late as usual. What about yours? We had a day off today, she replied. Okay then, so how about we jog a bit? Naruto said. Okay. And so they began to run around the border of Konoha. However, little did they know that they would soon meet something so terrorizing, so terrifying, something so grotesque, so annoying, so disturbing near the West Konoha gates. Lee. Guy-sensei. Lee. Guy-sensei. A teary, sweaty, muddy hug followed. Naruto watched as the two clones embraced each other. Naruto turned to Hinata. Eye twitching, just don't make eye contact, and I think we'll be fine, Naruto said, voice noticeably shaking. Hinata giggled. Oh. Sensei, look. Naruto swore under his breath. Ah yes, Lee. I see some youthful faces. At that the two came over. Maybe we should run? The kitsune suggested. We are running already. Well then run faster, he yelled. Naruto grabbed Hinata's hand and sped up. No use. Hi, Hinata said, stopping as the two beasts of Konoha ran in front of them. Are you both training to strengthen your flames of youth? Guy asked, giving a bright blinding flash of glittering teeth. If so, then let me join you, Lee said very enthusiastically, giving his nice guy pose. Sure we can be youthful together? Naruto asked, unsure. Yes, Lee helped guide them to be the most youthful they can be, Guy said. I thank you for this opportunity. Who are you? Lee asked after a moment's thought. Naruto. Hinata. Good. Now we must indulge in a youthful embrace, Guy said, giving his flashy smile again. Can't right now, seeing as we're running and all, Naruto said, grinning nervously. Oh. Yes, this is true. Then next time we meet we shall indulge in the youthful embrace of youth, one of them yelled. Sure, so you coming? Naruto said, just wanting to leave the two beasts alone. Lee was a great guy and everything, but whenever he was with Guy it was just too creepy for his liking. Then an idea struck him. I should introduce Lee to Sakura. Naruto turned to Hinata. How good are you with makeovers? Naruto whispered to Hinata, who blinked. Not very. After Lee, Hinata and Naruto had run around the village twice. Naruto had brought Lee to see Sakura. From a distance, of course. The three were soon spying on the pink-haired genin from up in a tree, watching her as she was waiting for Kakashi. She is beautiful. I will make her my blossom of youth, Lee quietly shouted. So do you want to maybe take her on a date? Naruto asked, smiling. Lee nodded vigorously. Then first we need to give you a bit of a makeover, Naruto said. But what would there be that she wouldn't like? My flame of youth burns so brightly and… Naruto cut him off. Not your personality, but well, comb the hair out of the bull shape, make tweezers your best friend, and put something on over the spandex, Naruto said, remembering what Sakura had done to Lee a few years from now, that is. Lee looked deep in thought for a moment. Okay. I will do it if it will win the heart of Sakura. YOSH. Hinata blinked. Good then, come on, I know who can help, Naruto said, leading Lee away. YOSH. Echoes were still being heard. Sasuke looked around but couldn't find the initial source. Sakura blinked and looked around nervously. Why do I suddenly have a really bad feeling? She asked herself before continuing to pace. Naruto had brought Lee to Team 10 where Ino, Shikamaru, and Choji were training. Hinata started to blush when Naruto called Ino over and she smirked an all-knowing smirk. So, we wanted to know if you could help give Lee a makeover, Naruto finished explaining. Just give me one good reason why I should do this. Ino asked, fuming. Naruto blinked. Well, so Lee can win Sakura's heart, and then you can have one less person out for Sasuke? He offered. Ino's eyes instantly lit up. I'll do it, you know, Naruto, you aren't half bad when you want to be, she said, slowly slipping into Dream World. TCH, women too troublesome, Shikamaru said as he lay down. Almost as quickly as she went into Dream World she was out and began telling the others what to do. Once again poor Lee's forehead became red. Luckily for him, Ino took care of that too. Shikamaru, who was being forced to help due to the fact that Ino wouldn't stop bothering him until he did, was watching Naruto suspiciously. It's subtle, yes, but he's definitely acting differently. He seems to have an air of power around him. Shikamaru sighed. Too troublesome to figure out why. Soon they were done and Ino was thanked. Lee looked stricken at his new image. If it will help me win Sakura's heart, then it does not matter. Why must he constantly shout? I'm getting a headache, the fox said. Nah, suck it up, or are you going soft? Naruto thought back with a smirk. I'll hold that against you in the future, the QB mumbled. Naruto just rolled his eyes. Lee had soon run off to find Sakura to woo her. Ino and her team went back to the training grounds, leaving Hinata and Naruto alone once more. They walked until they came to a clearing. And Naruto? Hinata broke the silence. Well, I was wondering if you could, Hinata started but faded out, blushing. What's the matter, Hinata? Could you? Yes? Out with it, girl, QB said, obviously annoyed. Fi. Remember what I said about being embarrassed, Naruto said, laying a hand on her shoulder. I want to spar. She finally got out. See? Okay, so to train we'll spar. Naruto smiled and jumped back, startling the girl. I wish to impress you, was her only thought as she closed her eyes momentarily. Please don't hold back. Be a Kugen. Naruto smiled. They got into a ready stance. Naruto held his ground as Hinata charged. She began striking furiously, making it so Naruto could only block. She got a hit square on his stomach and another on his chest by faking where she was going. She was about to try a hold which, in a real situation, she could easily kill her opponent with when WOHO. Alright Hinata, you can do it, came from her left. She blinked and used her Byakugan to look. There, about 10 feet away, was Naruto, cheering. She looked back to the Naruto she was fighting. No difference in chakra? Which one's the clone? She then looked squarely at the one in front of her. It was waving before poof. When did you? When I jumped away from you. Hinata blushed. I always knew you were great, Naruto. The sparring went on for about an hour before Hinata became tired. Naruto gave her a few leftover cinnamon rolls before she told him he should get to his team. Naruto nodded and ran off, leaving a blushing Hinata. I hope I can find something by tomorrow, she thought to herself before she left the open clearing. Naruto got to the bridge to see an angry Sakura, more than likely because of Lee, and an extremely broody Sasuke as well as a scared-looking Kakashi. Naruto, you're not supposed to be later than me. I have a reputation to keep, you know, Kakashi said. Through the mask he looked as if he was pouting. Sorry Kakashi, but I knew you weren't going to be here for a while, so I went training with Hinata, Naruto said, shrugging. I just don't think that waiting around for you is very progressive. Sasuke snorted. Idiot does have a point. Yeah. Sasuke's right, Sakura yelled. Stop ganging up on me, Kakashi mumbled. Well, isn't that ironic? Thought he was the one who was trying to teach you that, the fox said in mock surprise. Naruto bit his lip so as not to laugh. You really should learn to be more punctual, Kakashi. A voice came in from behind and everyone turned to look. There, standing right behind them all, was a woman with long blonde hair, a purple diamond on her forehead and really big boobs, aren't you? Sakura started. Tsunade, one of the legendary Sannin. Kakashi finished for Sakura. Everyone stood somewhat confused, looking at the large-chested woman. Naruto had more of a surprised look than anything. Tsunade looked at the group in front of her, her eyes settling upon Naruto. The blonde looked her right in the eye and immediately understood. Her eyes held warmth that he had come to know very well and, more importantly, recognition. Also, Naruto noticed a longing in her eyes as though she wanted nothing more than to give him a hug. Indeed she did. Had Naruto been alone, she probably would have done just that. Long time no see, brat. Tsunade finally said after a moment of staring. Yeah, I know you old hag, Naruto replied. Tsunade looked relieved for a brief moment from the reply, but quickly hid it. The only one that caught it was Naruto. I take it you two have met? Kakashi said, reading his beloved porn. Tsunade twitched at the sight of the book. Kakashi, she said, in an overly sweet voice. He didn't even look up from his book. If you do not start showing up earlier, I swear I will hunt down Jiraiya and make him stop writing those books, then burn your collection. Kakashi gulped slightly. Okay, so let's get right into today's training exercise. Now everyone run as fast as you can that way. Kakashi pointed to his left. Until we get to the wall, then we run on the wall, sticking to it with chakra for 10 laps. Kakashi finished. Oh, and if I may, can I borrow Naruto for a minute? Tsunade said in her sweet voice. Kakashi flinched. No problem, he replied, then ran off after his students. Naruto laughed, before turning to Tsunade. He cleared his throat before giving the biggest grin he could. I come from the far-off future. I bring knowledge from 10 years ahead. Naruto waved his hands around, wiggling his fingers as he did so. Tsunade slapped her forehead. If I wasn't so happy to see you, I would have hit you for that. She glared. Sorry, I've been wanting to do that to someone for a while now. Naruto rubbed the back of his head. Tsunade shook her head. Just how did you end up back here anyway? I didn't see anyone else get sucked in after me, Naruto asked, raising an eyebrow. Tsunade closed her eyes. Well, after Orochimaru opened up that thing, you got sucked in. It closed after. Naruto nodded. I already know that, but that's still. Tsunade put up a finger to silence him. I'm getting to that, brat. Anyway, Kakashi had his Sharingan activated and copied the jutsu he used. Jiraiya classified it as a type of teleportation jutsu. He also picked up the Kyuubi's chakra. About a month later we tried to recreate the jutsu, and what Kyuubi did to influence it. We knew that you weren't dead, you were just somewhere else. We were hoping to bring you back. After we got everything recreated, almost all of us were drained of chakra. I was the only one who would have enough chakra left to survive the trip. We all secured ourselves, knowing it would suck us all in otherwise. I had a large rope tied to me on one end and to a tree on the other, but someone doesn't know how to tie knots properly. Tsunade twitched and started muttering death threats to Jiraiya. And so you got sucked in completely, Naruto finished for her. Tsunade nodded. We thought it was just a rip into a different dimension or something similar, and that it was unstable. We thought Kyuubi had used his chakra to make the trip safe. Had we known it was a time travel jutsu, Tsunade smirked. You would have gotten a longer rope, Naruto smiled back. How would you make a 10-year-long rope? Tsunade asked. Estimate? Naruto laughed. Also, I have good news and bad news about Hinata's pregnancy, Tsunade said, catching the boy's attention. Good news, everything is going sneakers swimmingly. Bad news? Well, it might be twins. Naruto shook his head. That's not really bad news. You're not the one who's going to have to give birth. The happy moment relaxed Naruto, though good things never last. Yes, Guy-sensei, I am feeling the burn. Yes, Lee, that is the flame of youth. I again apologize for hiding my spandex of youth. It matters not if you have found the love of your life. It seems you've been busy, Tsunade said, seeing Lee in his red forehead and somewhat normal-looking outfit. Naruto nodded. I try my best. Is it just me, or do they get louder each time we see them? Tsunade asked. Let's just hope they don't notice us. I really don't want a hug. Luckily for everyone's eardrums, the two passed. Tsunade and Naruto talked until Haku came over to them. He happily declared that he had gotten everything he needed in his house and that he had decided to take the offer Kakashi proposed to him when he helped him bring in all the larger items. Naruto explained who he was to Tsunade, who looked confused. But the best part was I even found a pet. I bought myself an Arctic hare at the pet store with my leftover money, Haku said. It was the pet I always wanted. I got it a cage to keep it in, too. At this point, Kakashi, Sakura, and Sasuke were retuning from their training. AKA, run away really fast to avoid being turned into a mushy, bloody pulp. At first, the rabbit was somewhat scared when I was sticking my hands in there, but soon it came around to me. It took it a while, but it eventually relaxed. I think if I do that each day, it will come around to me. The three out-of-breath joggers looked horrified. I really enjoy petting it. Haku finished. Why must you constantly put images in my head that I really don't want to be there? Sakura shuddered. Ah, but I like the images, Kakashi said childishly. Everyone inched away from Kakashi. I don't understand, Haku said, confused. I think it's better if you didn't understand, Naruto said, placing a hand on the boy's shoulder. I envy you for that, Sasuke said, shaking his head, placing his hand on the other shoulder. Later that night, after he talked with Tsunade some more, they got Kakashi to finally stop air-tainting Haku by explaining his choice of reading material to him. Haku luckily was not used to hearing about this sort of thing, and had obviously never been taught it either. Eventually it was just Tsunade and Naruto outside the apartment complex. Everyone else had gone with Haku. I know, but tomorrow if anyone needs me you know where I'll be, Naruto said to Tsunade. Well okay, good night, Tsunade said, giving up. She kissed his forehead. When he went to wipe his head on his sleeve she gave him a hug that only a motherly figure could give. Stay safe, she whispered before walking off. Naruto figured he would go home and grab the recipe that Haku had asked for before going over. Naruto sighed. Tomorrow's going to be a long day, he said aloud as he entered his apartment. He soon located the item he was looking for. He was about to leave when he noticed something that wasn't there before, a hole in his kitchen wall. He got down on his hands and knees to examine the hole. It was dark on the other side. I think I'll be able to fit, Naruto thought as he began to push through the hole. Probably another rat hole. Once through, he realized he was in an area where he could stand. A small light was coming through a crack on the side. A door? Naruto raised a hand to push open the door and... Gah! A loud gasp came from Naruto's left. He turned to look and there was Haku holding a piece of wood. Sheesh, you don't have to yell, Naruto said, poking a finger into his ear. Well, I'm just not used to people coming out of the closet, Haku retorted. Heh, sorry, but I saw a hole in my kitchen wall, and I thought it was a rat, Naruto said sheepishly. Nope, no rats, Snowflake did it, Haku replied. The rabbit? Yeah. Okay. Oh, here, I got the recipe for you, why did you want it, anyway? Naruto asked, handing him the card. Well, I wanted to try the chicken. Haku sounded slightly unsure of himself. Sakura at this moment walked in carrying a box. So hiya Naruto, what are you doing here so soon? She sounded panicked and tried to hide her box behind her back. Naruto pretended he didn't notice. I was about to patch up that hole for you, Haku interrupted, trying to distract him while Sakura slipped away. Haku then put the piece of wood over the hole and finally put a laundry hamper in front of it to keep his rabbit from causing any more damage in the area. Haku, are you going to the festival tomorrow? Naruto asked, changing the subject and trying to sound cheery. I don't know yet, he replied. I'm not going, Naruto said, but I'll tell you where to find me if you need me. I never really liked the festival. Too loud. Anyway, I will be atop the tallest tree closest to the fourth Hokage's head on the monument. Okay, Haku nodded, looking slightly confused. I have a feeling I know what my teammates are up to, Naruto thought. Aloud, he asked, do you need my help with anything else? No, it is all right. I have enough help, but maybe you should go through the front door to go back home now, Haku hollered out the door. Naruto took the hint and got up to leave. Yep, just as I thought, a conspiracy. Naruto chuckled to himself. Haku may be good at hiding, but he needs more work on covering up for things like this. On his way out, Naruto saw Hinata and Lee also in Haku's house, not to his surprise. When did you two get here? Naruto asked innocently, raising an eyebrow. Why, when you were getting the youthful recipe, of course, Lee shouted. The youthful genin was still wearing the outfit from earlier, a light green collared shirt with dark green track pants, much to the relief of all spandex-fearing folk. Sakura hit him. Quiet down! There are probably people trying to sleep, she shouted, ignoring her own advice. You going to leave or what, dope? Sasuke asked exasperatedly from the wall he was leaning against. Lee started to yell before Sakura cleared her throat. Yash! That is very unyouthful, but that is what makes you a worthy rival, Lee exclaimed in a slightly softer tone, fire in his eyes. Don't worry, and Naruto, you can get home and take a rest, Hinata said. Naruto sighed in defeat, went home, and went to bed, shaking his head at the obviousness of his friend's behavior. The next morning Naruto awoke to the sound of the parade celebrating the death of the Kyuubi. He sighed. Some things just didn't go as planned. Damn, I was dreading this. Because I got to the wave mission about a week early, we got back a week early, and I didn't miss this. He stared out his window at his destination. Although in the past he would have sat atop the fourth Hokage's head, now he preferred to sit overlooking the mountain. He plotted out the easiest way to get there and, once dressed, followed his usual route, jumping from roof to roof and avoiding all the people. He quickly reached the tree and was in his spot in no time. He summoned out Kyubi so he could at least have someone to talk to. The leaves and branches on the top of the tree made good camouflage, and he was guaranteed a good amount of privacy, since the only clear opening through the greenery was down from the mountain. Naruto idly shuffled the cards he had brought. "Your pick," he said to the fox. "Go fish?" Kyubi replied while sharpening his claws on one of the nearby branches. "As long as you don't cheat this time." "Sure, take away all my fun." "I still don't really understand why he didn't tell any of us," Sakura said as she walked out of a shop carrying a bag. She had recruited assistants in the forms of Shikamaru and Choji. While the latter went along cheerfully enough, the former slouched along, wishing he was cloud watching. "Maybe he just doesn't want to make a big deal out of it?" Hinata asked, playing with something in her bag. "Makes sense to me, all of this is too troublesome," Shikamaru said, looking up at a cloud slowly moving past. "What? Are you kidding me? It's an excuse to eat ice cream and cakes," Choji said between mouthfuls of chips. He would never understand why anyone would give up a chance at free food. "So anyway," Sakura said pointedly, glaring at the boys behind her, making the two gulp. "Once we get the last of this up, Hinata, you and Haku get Naruto and bring him back to Haku's apartment, and that's when we'll get him." Hinata nodded and they continued on. "Hey, yeah. That looks really good," Sakura said, turning to examine what Hinata was doing. "Put that up a little higher so it's flush with the doorframe," she said to Haku. "Sasuke. That's so perfect," she cooed, causing him to sweat drop. "I'm just putting cups on the table," he thought somewhat disbelievingly. "I put the cake in the fridge," Irika yelled out. "All right," Sakura called back. She was supervising everything, a general in charge of her worker minions, making sure everything was perfect. Sakura then turned to Shikamaru, the only one of her worker minions not actually working. "I don't exactly know why you're here, but you could help," she scolded. "I'm here because our team had the day off and I do not want to spend it with Ino," he replied, opening an eye. Sakura sighed at the laziness, but was determined to conscript him. "You could blow these up." She handed him some multicolored balloons. Shikamaru sighed deeply and began blowing them up slowly. Once he tied the balloon, slowly, he looked up to Sakura, who was still hovering over him. "Why are you getting so crazy over this? I thought you hated him," Shikamaru said with a yawn. "Well, yeah, I do, but still I love parties and this is as good an excuse as any to have one." That and the party was actually Hinata's idea. Sakura then went off over to the table to tell Sasuke what a good job he was doing. Within a few hours, everything was set up and Haku and Hinata went to find Naruto. "So you know where he is, right?" Hinata asked, looking around the dimly lit patch of forest they were in. "Yes. We just need to find that actually," Haku said, pointing to the tree Naruto told him of earlier. "Wow, it's so beautiful. Is that him there?" Hinata asked, gazing at the large tree and peering through the leaves. "It very well might be, or just a shadow of the leaves," Haku replied. "Got any twos?" "Nope, any jacks?" "Damn," Naruto said, handing them over. "Hell, by the way, there are a couple of your friends at the bottom of this tree." "Damn. Well, I'll leave you to it then." "Please stop with the tree jokes," Naruto asked, exasperated. "Why? Am I barking up the wrong one? Should I go out on a limb and say yes?" "I really hate you at the moment." "Why, am I getting into a shady area?" "I really hate you." "Quit being such a sap." "Quit it. You should see a psychiatrist and get to the root of your anger problem." "Fine then, do whatever you want, but I'm going to leave now." "Ah, and here I thought I was starting to grow on you." Naruto growled as he jumped down from his spot. Hinata looked up in time to see Naruto jumping down right in front of her. "I guess it was him," Haku said. Hinata looked as if she'd just been shocked. A bit of red crept out from her cheeks. "So what is it you guys are here for?" Naruto asked, smiling as much as possible. "We would like you to." Hinata trailed off. "Come back to help me air." Naruto blinked and looked up. The sun was setting in the distance, and he guessed it was about 4 o'clock. While he was distracted, Hinata and Haku had a quick consultation. "Maybe we should have thought over a P-plan before we came," Hinata whispered. "Choose paint colors?" Haku finished in a hurry. "Choose paint colors?" Naruto asked, raising an eyebrow. Haku and Hinata nodded somewhat nervously. Oakum, sure? How about a light blue? Naruto asked, a hand on his chin. Perhaps a nice red? Haku replied, keeping the conversation going. Well, for a kitchen, how about green? Hinata said, looking down to the sidewalk. Yeah, then it'll look nice with the bathroom, Naruto nodded. Well, we can decide which exactly when we get in there, right? There was a pause, while the three stood outside the door of Haku's apartment. Naruto stifled a grin as he heard various rustlings and murmurings coming from behind the door. Haku? He finally asked. Yes? It would be easier to get in once you unlock the door. Oh, sorry. Haku retrieved a key from his pocket. I will open my door now, he said, a little louder than necessary. As Haku fiddled with his door, the rustlings from behind it abruptly stopped, then a few crashes were heard, then finally an expectant silence. A small click was heard when the key had unlocked the lock. Haku opened the door to darkness and stepped inside, followed by Naruto and Hinata. Suddenly, and completely by surprise really, a light came on and everything came to life, accompanied by various shouts. Surprise! Happy birthday! Woo zzz pop! Naruto blinked, or rather, twitched at the setup in front of him. Ere he started but was cut short. I saw why your birthday marked on your sea calendar, and Hinata trailed off. I'm actually surprised Kakashi just popped in almost on time, Naruto said in amazement, causing everyone to turn to the perpetually tardy teacher. You're late, Sakura screamed. I made it just as you all shouted surprise, Kakashi said, smiling under the mask. You were supposed to be here to help set up, then to help surprise him, Sakura said angrily. But he was almost in time, Sasuke said in amazement, staring at a dot on the ceiling. Yes, see now, wasn't that surprising? Kakashi asked, eye crinkling. I give up, Sakura said and sat down next to a sleeping Shikamaru. Choji was starting to get into the chip bowl and had at least one of every snack on the table on his plate. Someone had stuck a party favor in Shikamaru's mouth so when he exhaled it would unravel, stick out straight and make a noise. Amazingly, he managed to continue sleeping even through the noise. Sasuke was grumbling in a corner wearing a pointed hat that no doubt Sakura had made him put on. Kakashi had taken to helping hold up the wall, a very necessary task, while reading his beloved book. Lee was trying to help Sakura get up from where she had collapsed next to Shikamaru. Hinata was by Naruto's side, twiddling her fingers around a wrapped-up box with a bow. Haku had gone to the kitchen with Irika to get the cake. Hinata finally gathered up enough courage and handed the box to Naruto, blushing more than ever. You shouldn't have, Hinata, he said, looking down at the little box. The party was enough. Naruto unwrapped the little box to find a first aid kit with ointments and other things that would definitely come in handy. I know how hard you train yourself and I know how beat up you get, so I thought that this would help you out, Hinata stammered, looking down at her feet. Thank you, Naruto said with a soft smile. Before Hinata could look up, she felt his arms slink around her waist, pulling her into a hug. When she did look up, in surprise, Naruto kissed her on the forehead. Instantly she turned red and slumped over, passing out yet again. Wow, you're a real lady killer, Sasuke said, smirking. Naruto's eye twitched. Is it everyone's goal today to drive me insane with bad puns? Naruto asked the ceiling, getting some weird looks from the people there. The ceiling did not reply. Maybe you should let her lay down, Kakashi said, freeing up the nearby couch. Naruto placed the red-faced girl down on the couch, scratching the back of his head. I really hope she gets over that soon, he thought. It was then that the cake was brought out with its candles lit, and the chorus of Happy Birthday started, with everyone joining in. Minus Hinata, who remained passed out on the couch. And Shikamaru, who, when someone kicked him, almost inhaled the party favor stuck in his mouth and was too busy choking to sing. After the singing, Naruto was given a present that was signed from everyone, a ramen gift card with enough on it for a month's supply easily, even for Naruto. After that, everyone just talked, or slept, for the remainder of the night. Sakura, tired from her valiant efforts to organize everything, had fallen asleep on Lee, who was ecstatic that his love was touching him. Sasuke looked at the two with an almost relieved expression. After a while, people started leaving after helping to clean up. Lee awoke Sakura as carefully as he could before moving. Hinata had awoken on her own and had gotten another thank you from Naruto before leaving. Kakashi had put away his book and moved to awaken Shikamaru by pushing him until he opened his eyes. With a yawn and a stretch, he too was soon gone. Only Team 7 was left. Kakashi cleared his throat, getting his team's attention. So then, I guess I should be off. I want to meet you on the bridge at 8 tomorrow, alright? That includes you, Haku. Now that you're settled, you should be able to come too. And with that, he jumped out the window. He does realize that that is about a 10-story drop, right? Haku asked, staring out the window Kakashi left from. If he is at the bottom of the building in a heap tomorrow, you'll know, Sasuke said in a monotone. Well, I guess I should get going. Sasuke, would you walk me home? Sakura asked, lacking her usual exuberance when talking to Sasuke. Sasuke sighed. I will walk with you until we need to go in different directions, he stated. Which meant to the street corner. Soon they two left. Haku had gotten some lettuce out of the fridge to give to his rabbit Snowy as he said goodbye to Naruto. As Naruto closed Haku's door behind him, he heard a voice say, well, that was interesting. Naruto glanced over his shoulder to look at the person in question. There stood Tsunade smirking. Heh, they gave me a surprise birthday party, and I learned that Haku can make almost anything sound disturbing, Naruto said, thinking back to one of the conversations he had with him that night. Well, you're making friends a lot faster this time. Naruto nodded. So I take it you wanted to wish me a happy birthday too? He asked. Yes, and give you this. She held out a box that was about an arm's length long. Naruto opened it and smiled. Thanks, he said sincerely. In the box was a cape almost exactly like his father's, as well as Tsunade's necklace. Since I know you can already do the Rasengan, I'll give you that as well. Naruto nodded his thanks. See you later, brat. And with that she was gone. Flashback. Okay, so we're supposed to raid this sound ninja camp, everyone got that? Alright, move, Kakashi said to Naruto, Lee and Sakura. The three nodded and moved out to the perimeter. They entered through an air duct that was located to the side that Lee had found. They moved quickly but silently. This is so gross, Sakura complained. Her teammates nodded in agreement. Naruto was in front of the line when he saw the target room. He motioned to his teammates, then quickly pushed open the grate. So nice of you to drop in. What took you so long? Kakashi smiled over the heap of chunin. Where did? Sakura started. How the hell did you get here before us? Naruto yelled. The door was unlocked, it was in the briefing I got. He waved a few pieces of paper in front of their faces. I guess I forgot to tell you that. Oh, and before I forget, this place has also been abandoned for some time, so you really didn't need to sneak around too much. Kakashi was then beaten and bruised quite badly. End flashback. I see that perhaps I should have asked a more detailed question, Haku said in understanding. Naruto nodded in agreement. Well, if you want, I can hold him down while you beat him, would that help? Haku smiled slightly. The two exited the apartment building and looked to their left to see if Kakashi was in a heap on the concrete below the window. Turns out him wasn't. He probably just stuck to the side of the building and walked down, but it would still be funny to see. Naruto mused aloud. Haku nodded in agreement. The bridge that Kakashi was talking about isn't that far from here, Naruto said, smirking. All you really have to do is follow that river over there. Naruto pointed off to the right where the river was seen between the trees. Oh, I see, Haku said, slightly embarrassed about not knowing. About 15 minutes later they were at the bridge. So why it is no one else is here yet? Haku asked after looking around. What time did Kakashi tell you to be at the bridge? Naruto asked. 6:30, why? Haku raised a brow at the face Naruto made. Well, then that means you had until 9 o'clock to get here, Naruto said through clenched jaw. He's always 3 hours late, so we just sleep in until about 2.5 hours after the time he said to arrive, Naruto said. However, I always wake up around 6-ish out of habit, so I usually train for a few hours or go shopping, whatever needs to be done first. So shall we train then? Haku asked. If you want to, but believe me, I won't go easy on you. And now I know your weakness, Naruto said jokingly. You're not going to kiss me, are you? Haku backed away slightly. No, Naruto managed to laugh out. For about an hour the two worked on hand-to-hand training. Then from then until Sakura showed up they were working on their jutsus and weapon precision. Naruto made quite a few of his shadow clones while Haku used them for target practice. Haku almost always hit the clone with his Senbon needles and Naruto purposely missed with his shuriken and kunai. When Sakura showed up, she was more than happy to take out a few clones for her target practice. When Sasuke arrived, he sulked in the corner until Naruto sent all the clones out to taunt him. Who knew that 100 Naruto clones singing "You can't hit us, nag na 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 na," while sticking their tongues out blowing raspberries could make Sasuke so motivated? He then took out every clone that came his way in any way he could before turning on the original. Before he could pound on the tired blonde, however, Kakashi appeared in his usual smoky way. Everyone turned towards the popping noise to see Kakashi. Naruto sat down and awaited his daily lie. I'm sorry I'm late, but I had to fill out all this really complicated paperwork to get you all into the Chunin exams, Kakashi said, rubbing the back of his head with one hand and holding a few papers in a folder in the other. Liar, oh wait, that sounds plausible, Sakura said, blinking in surprise. Naruto twitched slightly at the mention but kept up his happy demeanor. Wow, really, we're going to take the Chunin exams? Naruto jumped up, latching onto Kakashi's neck. Now I'll get to be even closer to my dream. Kakashi tried to pull the idiot off him, but to no avail. Kakashi made a raspy, gasping noise that sounded vaguely like air. Naruto released him from his grip and Kakashi rubbed his neck. Here, he rasped. Naruto took the folder that he handed him and opened it up. He quickly read through it quickly before passing it on. They start in a few days, so I think it would be best to rest up and recuperate your energy, Kakashi said, his only visible eye crinkling, which meant he was smiling. Kakashi then spent about an hour explaining the process of the Chunin exams and why they are held. Then he left the team to go rest, but of course no one moved. Instead they sat there until Naruto got up enough energy to make more clones for everyone to have more target practice. It was a little past midday when they decided to go their separate ways, well, sort of. Sasuke tried to leave alone, but Sakura followed after and Haku followed Naruto, having nothing better to do. Naruto and Haku decided to get some ramen. On their way there, however, they were interrupted by a masked ninja. Naruto stared at him blankly for a minuet before making a fist and smacking it into his other hand. Oh right, he said aloud, finally remembering who he was. Well, what have we here? Two little lost boys? Said the random ninja. No, we were just going over there to get something to eat, Haku said, raising a brow. Oh well, I thought you two pipsqueaks were coming over to me, and here I thought you wanted to play, the random guy said. Nope, we're just hungry, Haku said happily. You do realize I'm trying to start a fight, right? The guy's sweat dropped. Naruto was snickering inwardly. It was too amusing to watch this. Very well then, Haku turned, needles drawn. The guy made a clone and went for both Haku and Naruto at once. Haku quickly dodged and retaliated with a pinpoint shot that would have killed him. The clone poofed away. Naruto quickly punched the guy in the face but ended up with a log. Humph. I guess you were stronger than I had anticipated, a voice came from seemingly all around them. There was a small rustle, then silence. So how about that ramen then? Yeah, let's go. So how did they do? Kakashi asked as a figure appeared behind him. Sakura's as bright as ever and Sasuke still rushes, and the figure came closer to Kakashi, and the moonlight illuminated his face. But that Haku is extremely powerful and has pinpoint accuracy, but Naruto Iruka trailed off. Kakashi nodded. He does seem like he fits a different description than what was in the academy reports. Iruka nodded as well. I mainly wanted to test his temper. Normally Naruto has such a short fuse and is a bit of a hothead, but when I was trying to get him to attack he waited. I have never known Naruto to be one to analyze his opponent before going into battle, and he had a different look in his eyes when he fought from before. Iruka was now standing right beside Kakashi. Maybe he has matured more than I give him credit for, Iruka said before jumping away. Perhaps, or maybe it's something more? Kakashi said aloud before he too jumped away. The next few days went by quickly for everyone. Sasuke trained his eyes to use the Sharingan, Sakura continued her chakra control, and Haku and Naruto spared, often taking out at least half of Konoha's population of trees. When Naruto was alone though, he trained with Kyuubi with just one thought pouring through him: I won't let it happen. Soon the day approached and everyone was in a hurry. Team 7 with their new member had agreed to meet up at the bridge before going to the place where the first half of the exams were being held. The four of them were walking up to the building when they were stopped by a man wearing black and had a mummy on his back. Hey, watch it! He yelled. The girl beside him turned to glare at him. Don't start, Kankuro. Gaara will be back any second now, and remember what he said? She said. But one of these little punks brushed into me. Naruto's eye twitched. It wasn't even us, it was that guy with the glasses, Kabuto. Naruto bit his lip to stop from screaming at the memories that he had just brought back. A low growl-like noise was heard from behind Kankuro. Everyone turned to see a boy with a gigantic gourd on his back. Come on, don't bother picking fights or else I will have no choice but to let the vultures pick at your dead carcass, he said. We didn't mean it, right? Kankuro said, elbowing Sasuke. Who are you? Sasuke said sharply. I am Gaara of the desert, replied Gaara, focusing on Naruto, who was still biting his lip. Gaara's mouth twitched in a way that could be described as a smile. Your name? Gaara demanded. Naruto blinked and replied in monotone, Naruto Uzumaki. Well then, Naruto Uzumaki, I'll be looking forward to seeing you in the fights later on. And with that they left. Naruto, calm yourself. Just remember that those things are the things that we want to change. But did you honestly not notice the demon chakra leaking off you? Sorry and no. Just remember I have put more of my chakra into your system recently, so it may go off with your emotions, although only a little leaked out, and most would mistake that for your human chakra. Gaara's Shikaku would sense it as demonic, Kyuubi said simply. It's been so long since Gaara has been like that, I guess I forgot about him being a sadistic bastard. Naruto sighed but kept walking. Oh, don't be so glum, the Kyuubi snickered. I'm sure you will be able to branch out to him so your friendship can blossom in no time at all. I swear if you don't stop I will inflict excruciating pain upon you. Remember, don't let your anger get into full bloom. The fox smiled, knowing full out that he was annoying the hell out of Naruto. I give up. Naruto shook his head as they kept on walking. They carried on their way until they came to a door which there were a number of people outside. Naruto stood but didn't really pay much attention to what was going on. He was lost to his painful memories. I have to stop that from happening. If I don't know what I'll do, Naruto thought to himself. You are coming? Sasuke asked, raising an eyebrow. You? Naruto looked around and noticed all the people that were at the door were dispersing. Oh, yeah, he replied in a low tone and kept moving. Sakura stopped him with a hand on his shoulder. What's with you? I'm surprised that you aren't screaming at the top of your lungs by now. No, nothing's wrong. I'm fine, Naruto said, still in his thought. Ever since we entered the building you've been acting really weird, Sakura said. He seems stressed, Haku said with a bit of concern. Don't worry, I'm sure he's just worried that I'm going to beat him to being a chunin, Sasuke said with a smirk. Naruto hummed as he kept walking. Yep, something's bothering him, Sasuke said, shrugging. They soon walked into a large room with a few pillars. They didn't think much of it until YOSH. That got Naruto's attention. He looked up and was quickly discouraged. Lee had his spandex back on. Although you couldn't really blame him, better to ruin the clothes that everyone cringes at rather than the clothes that look somewhat normal. I come to challenge you, Sasuke. I shall prove to you that I can surpass any born genius with perseverance. Lee screamed his challenge. I would rather not, Sasuke said simply. But I challenged you, Lee furrowed his brow. Yes, and we can fight later, but if you notice the time we really should be going, Sasuke said, motioning to a clock on the wall. Our time will soon perspire if we do not hurry. We won't be able to take the test at all on second thought. Fight away, Naruto said, finishing in a happy tone. That got him some strange looks from everyone in the room. I thought you said becoming a chunin would only put you one step closer to becoming the Hokage, Sakura said, suddenly worried. And I don't think I've ever seen you that happy about missing out on something like that, Sasuke finished Sakura's thoughts. Haku nodded in agreement. Damn, now they know for sure something's up. I was hoping that if we couldn't take the exam at all I wouldn't have to worry about all the stuff that started there. Naruto thought while I was trying to use reverse psychology? Naruto said, smiling nervously. Then walked away. He is right. We shall prove who is the better fighter another day. And with that last burst of enthusiasm, Lee ran after Naruto. What scares me most is Naruto used all his words in a proper way, Sakura said, beginning to follow Naruto and Lee. Hell, I didn't even know he had that big of a vocabulary, Sasuke said. They made it to the exam room with a few minutes to spare. Once inside, they met up with the other genin who were taking the exam. The 9 genin were all chatting until a man brought their attention. He was thrown across the room by a sound ninja and landed right in front of the group. You okay, buddy? Kiba asked. Yeah, I'm fine, the man said. He had large round glasses and silvery white hair. Naruto once again bit his lip. Hinata looked up over to him, but quickly looked away as he turned to her. Naruto managed to tune in just as Kabuto was talking about his cards. Indeed, anyone you want I can get their info on. He smiled. Alright, I'll try. Gaara of the Desert, Rock Lee and... He whispered the last name. Well, it's no fun if you know their names. Alright, here. He held up 3 cards. Sasuke read them over silently. Well, this is interesting. Naruto has question marks as well as that Gaara. But Lee looks like he has almost no chakra. The only thing on Naruto's and Gaara's card is the birth date, what missions they've been on. It also says that Naruto has a lot of stamina, a lot of help, that is. No sooner had Sasuke handed back the cards, the examiner came in and everyone took their place. Naruto ignored the speech given and flipped his paper when he was told to. He looked down at the questions, picked up his pencil, and began doodling. About a half hour later, Hinata, who was beside him, looked over and was shocked to see what he was doing. She was about to say something when a kunai whizzed by her head and hit the desk behind her. Number 48 out. one of the examiners yelled. Whoever his teammates are, please leave also. The three left. As the test dragged on, more and more people began failing. A loud slam of the desk got everyone's attention. All right, time's up. Now, for the 10th question. Ibiki hollered into the crowd. If you pass, you will move on, but if you fail, you will only not proceed to the next round, but you will be forbidden to take the test again. Numerous gasps were heard around the room. I'm not all that mean though. If you wish to quit now, you may raise your hand and wait. You will not move on, but you will also be able to take the test next time around. The interrogator smiled. A number of people put up their hand and left. Naruto looked around and saw Sakura was about to put up her hand. Naruto smiled. If she gets us out of this, then maybe Sasuke won't. I wouldn't have come myself because we would need 3-man teams, but I'm not about to explain to everyone that I knew what was going to happen. You could have always said you were a psychic. No, they just think I was a psychopath. Naruto outwardly smirked at the face he saw in his mind's eye. If he said he could see the future. Unfortunately, she caught sight of Sasuke, who was shaking his head, so she put her head down and waited. Ibiki then announced that they all pass and explained the meaning behind the test. I would raise my hand to get us out of here, but I can see where that would lead me. Who are you and what have you done with Naruto? Then I'll probably be tortured until I admit the truth. Then I'll be tortured even more because no one would believe me, Naruto thought, shaking his head. Well, on the positive side, you can always think up ways to get back at that snake freak. Is that all of you who are going to quit? Ibiki smiled as he looked around the room. Last chance, one person raised their hand and the team was escorted out. Okay, then here's the 10th question. He let that hang there in case anyone else decided to quit. No one raised their hands, so he continued. You all pass. There was quite a bit of murmur around the room. Well, maybe we can allow him to bleed from everywhere in his body, then crush him under a huge heavy rock, Naruto suggested. No, we cut him to the brink of death, rip him open, pull out his eternal organs, stuff them down his throat with an exploding note, then burn him to death, the QB suggested. I don't really think that we need to be that sadistic about it. Naruto looked up from his conference with the demon just in time to see Anko jump in through a window. Alright, listen here. The second part of this exam will begin in half an hour. Please go to this spot and get there as soon as possible. She pointed to something on the billboard that looked like a map. This is where we're going, so get moving. She walked to the back door and was about to leave when she turned around to face the classroom. That means follow me now, she screamed. In an instant, everyone was gone. Naruto stood in the large opening that was outside the forest with Sasuke, Sakura, and Haku standing beside him. A fake smile plastered across his face as he glared at a grass Nin. Anko was giving instructions on what was going to be the second part of their exams. Forest of Death, Sasuke repeated the words with a smirk. Well, what did you expect? The forest of happy rainbows, sugar and fairies, Naruto said, smirking. Well, no, but I think that would have been a lot more scary, Sasuke said with a smile. Naruto laughed at the small joke, trying his best to remain happy. Whoosh! A kunai whizzed by Naruto's head, grazing his cheek between his whisker marks. Hey, what was that for? Naruto half yelled at the half-mad examiner. She jumped behind Naruto and spoke into his ear. Do you think the Forest of Death is a joke? There are things in there much worse than just enemy ninja. Era maybe? Naruto raised a brow at the expression he was given. Then a tongue slipped by his face and handed Anko back her kunai. Just thought I should return this, the man said in a slippery voice. Why, thank you, Anko said before going back and explaining about the scroll.